All right. Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club Stop and Chat. Today, we have two very special guests, Mr. Dr. Kyle Brown and Walker Ryan. There we go. Round of applause.
Yeah.
I usually have my button here.
Yeah,
Well, that's a different show.
Welcome, and then welcome back.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, you guys.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Psyched to be
And
back.
just so people know what they're getting into is, Dr. Kyle Brown, obviously, the doctor says a lot, but doctor of physical therapy, right? And you guys also own a company together, Old Friends, right? That you guys do podcasts. You guys do a lot of what are they? Foam roller type stuff, equipment,
fitness equipment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's good to have a doctor here.
Yeah.
You know, good to have a doctor.
Give the correct term there.
So it's gonna be cool. I think we're gonna talk a lot of skating and a lot of physical therapy stuff today, which is important because I think a lot of us who tune into this show are. Well, I'm not gonna speak for them. I'll just speak for myself. We just want to skate for as long as we can. Right? The older we get.
The two go hand in hand more and more as you get older.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But dude, Walker, how are you, dude? It's been a long time.
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me back. It's
Yeah,
a trip to see this transformation. Like, I love what you guys have done. It's
Thanks.
amazing.
It's funny, we don't really think about it too much. And then somebody comes in and is like, yo, what are you guys are really doing
Yeah.
it? We're like, oh, are we?
Well, because we see it like slowly, you
Yeah.
know, and,
Yeah.
and then you're keeping that's like night and day difference. Like,
It's
yeah, it
crazy.
is.
Yeah, we'll get like
Yeah.
a new light
Yeah.
there, and then new little monitor, or like what, then you,
Yeah.
it's totally.
Well, especially for me, because I was literally sleeping on the floor or the couch sometimes back when it was nothing. So I've seen these like little stages, and this is like the finished version, it feels like.
You've
Like,
seen the full
no chance
progression.
to sleep on any surface anymore. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah, there's kind of nowhere to sleep right now.
Yeah.
At this
There's a
moment.
lot of floor space, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you need to, go, dude. And what do you think, Kyle?
Looks amazing.
Thank you.
It looks
Appreciate
very
you.
professional.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, thanks.
He's got it made.
Oh,
Got it made.
Well, you guys do your own podcast as well.
We do. And
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
none of this stuff.
Not a single one.
I was on your podcast. Who else?
I was
Kelly
on there.
Jeron? You were.
I have not been.
You
I have
haven't-
not been
John?
on yet.
Yeah, you're the
Not-
last
I'd
one
love-
left because
I'd
we
love
got
to come
LD.
on.
Not
Yeah.
yet. Not yet.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Would love that.
Well, I mean, you could talk about when you broke your foot.
Oh yeah.
You broke your
Definitely.
ankle and landed and rode away from a trick.
Yeah, that happened, and I went to the doctor, and he asked me, "Have you broke your ankle before?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, you have."
Damn.
And that's how I found out. But I mean, I knew I did something pretty bad when I basically couldn't skate for 3 months. You know,
But
and
you found out later.
and I didn't go to the doctor.
Oh, wow.
Let's just keep that as the
Typical skater.
exactly.
That's got to be the only trick I've ever heard. Someone's landed a trick. It was in right, and you broke your ankle.
Which clip?
Yeah, which clip was it?
the heel flip down. It's like a 9. I think it was in Paris.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the one that McCrank was skating the
Yeah.
big rail and whatnot.
When you landed that, you broke your
Yeah.
foot?
That was in Harsh. Wait,
Was that Harsh
Euro
Euro
Barge?
Barge? Yes,
It was
I believe
in
it was.
it was when you were filming that
was-
tour.
It was on that tour.
Yeah.
and it was in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was in
right.
the
It was
video.
in Yeah, right.
It was in right.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
oh, you saved it for right.
Yeah,
It
because
wasn't in the
I
tour-
landed it.
But it wasn't in the tour video.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
But they talk about it in the video.
They talk about it for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Was it the one you landed on? I mean, sorry, was it your back foot?
The back foot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful heel flip. I
Appreciate it.
remember that,
Yeah, but I was definitely done after that for
And that makes
quite
it
some
even
time.
that makes it even crazier.
I know. That's
Have you ever heard that ever happening?
I haven't.
I haven't
No.
either.
I'm like remembering
Usually when you break
like
something, you are not even close to landing
Yeah.
the trick.
Tom Cruise, man, he ran across the thing, jumped over the buildings, broke his ankle, and continued the scene.
Oh wow, there you
Did
go.
he?
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know
Yeah.
that?
No. Wait, what? Mission Impossible or
I don't
what?
know what movie it was.
One
He
of
ran,
those.
he jumped across over the building and hit the side of the building, broke his ankle, and then still climbed up and ran.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing that.
I mean, that's pretty good company to be with, you and Tom Cruise.
Hey,
I mean,
I'm not mad at that.
perfect. He's a case study right here.
There you go.
I mean,
Hey,
you could.
there you go.
know.
People say I look like Tom Cruise all the time, so that's why we're
Look
sitting
at
over
that.
here. Yeah.
It is.
Totally did two different things, bro.
It's the same.
There they are, the two of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeron and Tom.
There they are.
Jeron and Tom.
So you have a practice in Santa Monica here, right?
I work at a practice in Santa
You
Monica.
work at a practice. So if you work at a practice, could I come in and get free training? Or
You could, absolutely.
Seriously?
You
Okay.
could, yeah.
Okay, just
But
making sure.
Most people pay. Okay. But for you, Chris, we'll hook you up. Absolutely.
You never know, dude. Because I always say, man, physical therapy is the key. It's crucial.
It is.
Broke my elbow skating, fell backwards, 180 nose grind, slipped
Ooh.
out, arm back,
Oh, damn.
hyperextended my elbow,
Damn.
cast everything. Never did physical therapy for it. Just had it in the cast. Boom. Can't touch my shoulder now.
Yeah. Yeah, the elbow is one of those joints where if you don't rehab it, it'll stay stiff forever.
Mine's
That's
stiff.
actually not bad for not doing anything.
Oh, seriously? Do you have the same
weird to
stiffness
think
in your
about.
elbow?
Nope.
Oh, you could touch your. Okay.
Yeah, I can.
Oh.
Yeah. But I've seen some cases where people like just shatter their elbow and they're like stuck here forever.
Wow.
That's almost like.
Which you
Wow.
can. I mean, if you're that stuck, you can
You
like
can't even
barely
feed yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
you're
gotta
lucky.
do-
You're
It's
good.
yeah.
You
I
must-
mean, sometimes you can get away with just like letting it heal on its own, but for something like that,
Yeah.
you got to put your work in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any hope for me for my elbow now?
Just push it. Can you,
I've
Kyle,
tried.
Can you
I've
just,
tr-
Kyle, can you just push it?
Re-break it.
It might be.
Ow.
That might be what it is.
Yeah.
I will say this though, like I don't know, I went with worked with Kyle a lot on like, cause I've got a bunch of injuries, and I go to Kyle all the time. The one thing I love the most is that you're relating a lot of the workouts that we're doing to skateboarding, because you understand when someone a skateboarder gets hurt, what are these motions that you need to do to get yourself back into like skate mode, and I appreciate that. And it's like,
Thank you.
we were doing like you put the bands on your knees, you're like doing the squats. You're like, all right, you're doing front 180. So you do like the same
The
motion,
motions.
like,
Oh,
and
that's
then you
dope.
switch front 180.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it kind of got me back into skate mode quicker than I thought it would.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it kind of helps to know that your exercises are relating to the sport, whether it's skating or whatever. That it relates to the sport you're trying to get back to do.
And I don't think before I had met you, I hadn't known anyone that was doing that. Like when I would go get it, you know what I mean? To get
A lot of the people
PT.
that you go to, I mean, I've done PT I had an Achilles tendon, which we talked
That's
about
right,
on your
yep.
podcast. And I've never had anybody that skated that related to what we actually go through on a skateboard.
I'll say one thing actually, Dr. Dave.
That's right.
Dr.
Yep.
Dave.
Yeah,
I
Dr.
think
Dave,
he was
definitely.
doing it before me.
Shout out
For
Dr.
sure.
Dave. Yeah, he really did a lot too. But like you were the first skateboarder
Yeah.
that I had met that was actively still doing it. So
But Dr. Dave didn't have any like video parts, right?
no.
That's the thing that Kyle. I want to put this on record too for anyone who hasn't heard of Kyle or whatever. Like, check his video parts, dude.
Yeah.
Because he's got a name on his board. I mean, he's got a name on a board. His name on a board,
Yep.
basically. In other words, he's pro.
Has some very mediocre skate parts,
But they're good. They're out there.
on the
They're
interweb.
out
Yeah,
there.
they're out there.
What are we working with? Novia?
Yeah, that's the old
Is
Friends
this the
video
one?
part.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
the old Friends video part
Yeah.
right here?
Yeah.
Sick.
Oh, well, look at this. You fell and you took out your rubber band. And
Oh, but you
started
gotta
doing-
run. Can you? Is there any way to run it back just a little to
Yeah, we
see
can run it
this
back.
horrendous roll?
Oh, dude,
To know
I don't
really.
Is this actually...
Sorry, you guys have to watch.
I just
this.
love
sorry.
torturing.
Sorry about that.
torturing Kyle with this.
Oh, my God. This is fake, right? This is CGI.
Oh my gosh.
The
Is this filming?
This is a different
With-
day.
yeah,
I was gonna say,
Could you
dude.
imagine? You sprain your ankle
And then
you
you're out here
take your
doing
rubber-
that.
I know. We like.
Hold on.
I can't believe we did this. I cannot believe we did this. This is
I was
Walker's
like
idea, by the
laughing
way.
so hard. Yeah, I just wanted for all the intro skits or the intros to all the video parts. I wanted some like goofy thing that would likely
this is-
never happen.
Oh, you
And
didn't
that
even
was
do the
like-
trick.
I wanted him to go step up and do the tail slide.
I was traumatized. I did not want to go
just
back
to get
and try
him,
that.
just to get him back there to do the skit was a lot for Kyle.
Well, you guys did a couple skits. The one that
Yeah.
went viral on the beach over here.
I know that one is so.
the
funny.
video camera one?
Yeah,
No.
that one still goes.
I
nuts,
still
feel
get
like.
people asking me like, "Did you ever get it back?" It was a joke.
But you did good acting in there, so I was very impressed.
Yeah.
There you go. And I love it. Man, it's all
Yeah,
local
dude.
spots around here.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
West Side
A
spots.
lot of West Side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ooh,
Okay.
kickflip
We
out.
got some
Yeah.
clips here.
Got a couple clips.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And that's the thing, man. It's always nice to work with people who skate and know what we go through.
It does
you
help,
know?
yeah.
It 100%
Yeah.
helps. Not to say that other PT people don't do a good job, but I just don't think that they really get it.
It's that like added touch or that added benefit, knowing that your PT or doctor or whatever healthcare provider you're seeing really understands your sport.
It's funny, man. Like Dr. Huberman and comes
Yeah.
on the show, and just because he skates, just because he grew up in San Francisco, skated EMB,
Yeah.
and he's sitting here talking to us, I feel he's more relatable.
Definitely.
Oh, for sure.
It's like he
1000%.
sits there and talks our language, and it's like, oh, when you nollie heel flip, and I'm like, yes, I do know.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. How did you two meet, by the way?
So we go way back. I think the first time I met Kyle, I was like 10 years old at a local
Wow.
skate contest. Because I grew up in St. Helena. He grew up in Calistoga, which in the Napa Valley are like adjacent towns.
Okay.
Each like, what,
9
5,000 people?
Yep,
Like small towns.
Small
Yeah.
towns.
And I mean, that was it, right? Probably the first time we skated together,
Think so,
saw each
yeah.
other. But it was more of like, this is my nemesis thing. Because I got second, he won, and I'm like, this guy, I am beating next time. Like, fuck this guy. Even though he's older than me.
Yeah, Walker was 10. I was like a full-on teenager, like 14, 15. and
Oh, yeah. Wow.
But yeah, eventually we joined forces as friends and
Amazing.
realized, we'd be better together. So we just started making videos, and yeah, I mean, just stayed skating together ever since.
Because you moved out to the west side here, right? You lived out on this part of town.
Yeah, I moved here in 2017.
Okay.
So that was a long time after that from that contest.
Well, when did you move out here, Kyle?
2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at you just following in his
We
footsteps.
follow each other, yeah.
Man.
Wait, did you live in San Diego as well at one point, or no?
I feel like I did, but I never like officially lived there.
Okay.
But I spent a lot of time there. I went to grad school in Loma Linda, like Inland Empire. So I would do weekend trips to San Diego and visit these guys all the time.
Oh,
but I never
when he was in college.
when he was in college,
Right,
yeah.
right.
But I never officially lived there.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of you guys down in San Diego area.
There's a bunch of Napa transplants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny how it happened. Everyone just sort of followed each other down. And honestly, in all sorts of different ways. Like, I went down there for college. My friend Dave, I don't know how Dave ended up, but we had our friend Andy, who's a Navy SEAL, who's down there for
Wow.
to be
Yeah.
in the Navy.
I mean, it was really like one guy went down there and had a little bit of money and bought a house, and then everybody just kind of followed and crashed at his house for.
yeah. Or technically, he just rented that house, but it felt like
But he was the first one who
Yeah.
had like a successful career.
yeah.
Is this Andy?
Andy, yeah.
Yeah.
I always think about this story about, was it Smolik that was there and somehow a scorpion got let loose?
Sounds
Yeah.
about right.
That damn
Tarantula.
scorpion.
Or
Yeah.
tarantula? That's
No,
what
it was a scorpion too. Because they had the aquarium with the tarantulas. Andy would like go out into the desert and just like pick up whatever. There was a rattlesnake at one point.
Yeah.
Yo,
But anyways.
relax.
Yeah, and I was sleeping on the couch, and Smolik like came over to party, and somehow the scorpion he trapped like got loose, and it was
Wow.
a rough sleep.
So
This guy's picking stuff up from the desert. Go ahead. I can't believe this.
He's a Navy SEAL, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he went into he went the Navy SEAL route right out of high school, and ended up moving to San Diego, and then that's how a lot of us moved to San
Yeah, a
Diego.
lot of the
for
other
a
guys
long time.
trickled in. Yeah.
and then when did you start your career as a physical therapist?
I've been a PT for 12 years now.
12 years.
Yeah.
And you,
Damn,
so
time flies.
when you moved down here, you pursued that?
When I moved down, I was already working as a PT, but when I moved down here, that's kind of when I wanted to kind of marry physical therapy
Okay.
and skateboarding. So that was one of the reasons why I moved to LA, to kind of try to make that happen.
Got you. And so you had to go to school for this, obviously.
Mhm. Yep.
Like you said, Loma Linda, you were out
Loma
of
Linda,
school
yeah.
out there. Okay.
Yeah, so it's 4 years of undergrad, 3 years of grad school. And then if you want to do some extra training, you can do kind of like what doctors do. You can do residencies, fellowships, stuff like that.
Did you do any of that stuff?
I did both of those
Oh,
things.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just went through a lot of suffering just to just to feel like, to get the knowledge that I felt like I needed to do it
For sure.
adequately. And then I've been working in PT ever since.
So you necessarily don't always work with skateboarders,
No.
but you do work with skateboarders.
I would say 10 to 20% of my patients are skaters.
Okay.
And then the other 80% are just normal orthopedic.
Anywhere
injuries.
from kids to senior citizens,
Yep.
probably.
Yep.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
What do
Which
you-
makes it fun. You know, you get a good. I love working with skaters, but it's fun just to have that variety.
Totally.
What would be something? What is there? Is there a common injury that always comes in?
Low back stuff.
Lower back.
Yeah, for the general population, low back pain is the most common thing
Why?
you see. It's just one of those things that a lot of people get.
Aging, your lower back just takes a toll.
Aging, you know, the things we do or don't do, like you can overdo certain things and strain your back, or you can underdo certain things, like sit on your ass all day and the back gets, you know, injured that way. So it's just a very common thing.
What if you have a budget ass bed?
Or a budget ass bed. Yeah, that can do
I
it.
think that's one that could definitely
Do you have a
that.
budget ass bed?
You know what? We just bought a bed probably like 2 years ago, and I think it's budget. It's
Really?
not really working out. I'm like, I have to constantly flip it or whatever.
You
So
said
there's like little indentions. It's like
2 years old.
2 years.
Yeah, it
It's
should be lasting
crazy.
longer than that.
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is
You
it an
know?
orthopedic type style, or what's it called? Tempur-Pedic? Sorry.
No, you know what? Yes, I believe it is. Yeah, the place shut down where I got the bed, so there's a telltale of what they're selling is probably not really working. So,
Yeah, it can be some, you know, stuff like that too.
Yep.
So
Dude, I've consistently throughout the years, so I've had lower back problems. My back just goes out.
Yeah.
And like someone told me, Miss Jess, you know, Jessica, she was like, "Have you been drinking water?" And it's like, that's been the most I hear from doctors. Like, "Oh, have you drinking water?" I'm like, "Oh, is that the thing?" They're like, yeah, you get dehydrated and your muscles get all
tense.
tensed up.
sometimes it's as simple as hydration, you
Yeah.
know, sleep, just do the basics really well, and that can help with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So most people don't think about that. They just think
Yeah.
like it's some strain that they do. But like, no, it's the way that your lifestyle is.
Yeah. Or you could have been more susceptible to that strain because of something like hydration.
Yeah,
Right.
because
Yeah.
like, you know, when you're folding a blanket, that's really gnarly. You know what I mean? So when your back goes out folding a blanket,
Yeah.
you're really working hard. So I was like, wait, what's going on here? Those
That's
little
how you
things-
did it?
That's how I
Folding
did
a
it.
blanket?
Well, just last couple weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah.
They saw me. I was not happy.
Yeah, for a good 2 days, he was like,
Dang.
I was messed up.
Yeah, I mean that's been plaguing me the last couple years. I'll get it like so randomly, like never doing something strenuous.
totally.
yeah.
I like putting on my socks, and I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck? I
yeah.
just. And you try to like reverse it and see if like it could. No, it's already too late. It got you.
Work it in reverse.
Well, that's pretty actually like cool for you. Is that like you're so knowledgeable in all these things that if something happens to you, you know what to do right away
Right.
almost.
It helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps.
That's cool. I'm sure. I mean, I actually did the same thing with you. When I got hurt at both times, I hit you up. It's like, hey, I got this issue. I don't know what's going on. You're like,
Yeah.
oh,
He's
it's probably
There's
this.
Kelly again. Got her folding a blanket. This is what I do. This is what I deal with, everybody at work. This is what I deal with. See, folding
I
a
don't know.
blanket.
We all love Kelly at work, but we all know him at work too.
Yeah.
Edwin, my assistant, will see Kelly on the schedule. It's like, oh, Kelly's back, huh?
Yeah. It's good times there. It's a good environment there.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. And it's local too.
It's local. Yeah, it's a fun place to work.
Is there a ideal sleeping position? Because I deal with this. I struggle with this, actually. I struggle. I don't know if sleeping on your back is good, stomach, side. Sometimes I curl up and I'm like, damn, I'm kind of hunched over right now, but this is so comfortable.
Yeah, people ask me that all the time. There's really not.
Really?
I mean, it's different for everyone.
How do you sleep?
I sleep on my back.
Yeah.
But some people have to sleep on their side. Some people have to sleep on their left side. You know, people are very habitual.
Right.
I would say the one position you might want to avoid as you're aging, as you're getting into your 50s and 60s, is your stomach.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because the neck can't take it after a certain point. You can get
Interesting.
away with it for a while.
Okay.
But what about if you just go face down completely?
If you can set that up,
I sleep on a
that'll
massage.
work.
He sleeps on a massage table.
If you can sleep on a massage table with the hole, that might work.
Okay, cool.
Time for bed.
So I always tell patients, like, sleep. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to sleep how you want to sleep.
comfortable.
So
Yeah.
however, whatever's comfortable for you, that's how you should sleep. But I do sometimes tell people to shy away from sleeping on their stomach once they reach a certain age.
Yeah, I think I'm getting there because I definitely sleep on my stomach, and yeah, it's gonna be.
You waking up with a sore neck.
Yeah,
every
for
once in a
sure,
while? Yeah.
for sure. So yeah, but I think I'm also like kind of moving and shit throughout the night anyway. So I don't tend to sleep on it all night, but I do tend like to really lean towards that, which I have to be better with for sure.
When you wake up in the morning, what position are you in?
My side.
You see, that's interesting, right? Because sometimes I go to bed on, I used to be like I used to be a stomach sleeper, then I was a back sleeper, now I'm a side sleeper. I'm going through this midlife sleeping crisis.
I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of doing the same thing, but I'm doing it on purpose because I see if you have certain injuries, then you can't sleep in certain positions for a while. Like if you have shoulder surgery, you can't sleep on your side for a while. So I see those trends, at the clinic, and I'm like, shit, like if I hurt my shoulder, it's good to be able to be adaptable enough to be able to sleep in different positions.
Totally.
So I'm kind of
exploring
I'm trying to learn how to sleep on my side a little bit more comfortably.
Right, right. Going back, because you had mentioned the back pain stuff with getting older and stuff like that, is there something that somebody could just do, like a basic exercise or something that I know you can't really show us here unless I jump on the table and
you probably pull it up if
cool.
you on the internet,
yeah, maybe.
exercise.
But is there something like very simple or easy that somebody could just do to try to alleviate lower back pain that you're talking about here?
To alleviate or prevent? Or both.
Okay, both.
Yeah, I mean, exercise is probably the best way to prevent low back pain. There's not one type of exercise that's been shown to be more effective than another, but just being active.
Preventable, we're talking about.
Yeah, as far as prevention, my bias is if you stay generally active and you have like a 2 to 3 times per week strength training program. That if you're trying to prevent a low back issue like that might bias like some back strengthening, core strengthening, stuff like that.
Okay.
That combination is probably the best way to prevent things.
Got you.
It's by no means like a bulletproof way to prevent things, but it's a good start.
Nice.
As far as one exercise to alleviate back pain, if you figure out which exercise that is, let me know.
Okay.
It's different for everyone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Different things that
There's different types of low back pain. People are different, circumstances are different. So
right.
I kind of take it on a case by case basis.
Right. So Kelly's back pain folding a blanket would be different than, because I feel like sometimes I have back pain, but it kind of comes and goes. It's not. It's more. It's
You don't
not
have
even
the acute strain.
It's not acute. It's more of like, God damn, my back's tired, man. It's kind of like this wear, right?
Yeah, mine's like this, like someone stabbing me in the lower back.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a whole different.
that's
It's like
nice.
definitely like some sort of nerve, some sort of.
Could be,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's what I assume.
You pinch a
That
nerve
could
back
pinch a
there,
nerve,
right?
yeah.
Right.
But-
I think we've all had that kind of thing too.
So yeah, that's
sure.
a perfect example of like, one
Different.
stretch would help Kelly, but another one
Right.
might not help
Yeah.
Chris.
I did one where I laid on my stomach and then I like slowly kind of lift my back up,
It's a good one.
like back and forth,
Yeah.
like that. And I got up and I was like, oh, it does feel a lot better.
Yeah.
But then it goes back to that. But
And I want to say, because on your old friends, you have an old friends YouTube page. You have a lot of these exercises and a lot of stuff on there as
Yep.
well, right?
Yeah.
So people can go on there, check out some stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we try to go over all of the injuries that are pertinent to skaters, but we also throw a couple injuries that are in there that everybody goes through. Like low back stuff.
well, on your personal Instagram account is specifically good because you relate all these things to skateboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you'll put like some skate song to it that we all know. You put like Guy Mariano's Mouse song, and you'll put like some stretch that's relating to skating, pretty much.
Nice.
Which is pretty rad.
Yeah. So my Instagram stuff, I try to make for skaters and skate related injuries.
So here's some stuff right here. Like this is on your YouTube page, Old Friends YouTube. How to warm up if you're a skateboarder.
Yeah. So then we
SIBO warm up.
also touch on general topics like how to stretch, how to warm up but how to warm up if you're a skater going to skate, stuff like that.
Yeah, because this is
Right in front of Kelly's house.
Whoa! Don't tell them where the dynamic stretching. So so you guys have a bunch of your dynamic stretching, Activision exercises. So this
Activation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
exercises, yeah.
What did I say? Activision.
Yeah.
Call it that too.
I like the idea. The sound of it sounds cool. Yeah.
It's a video game developer, Activision.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So you guys
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff. Information is key, man.
Yeah. And that's what we've been trying to do really with the website we've launched. And for the last couple of years, it's been a Patreon. It's just Old Friends Fitness. And it's basically all these questions that Kyle gets like hammered with in the DMs. It's like, all right, for each injury, let's like break it down for the people. And so we'll do a podcast and then like a nice video broken into individual exercises that like he would recommend in sort of a general way. And so like the one we have for back is actually just my low back injury, which we had to like be specific with because it's not like, oh, generalized like low back injury. It's like what I went through and then what exercises he recommended me come back from. So it's been fun to like get this information out there.
We're really trying to combine, putting exercises up there that people can use to help, get back from an injury. But it was important for me to have good, solid information on each injury, so skaters can kind of learn more about the stuff that they're going through. That was important for me. So we combined the exercise videos with, we have like informational podcasts on all the injuries that we highlight on the site.
Amazing.
That's just between you two, or is that where you have the guests on, like myself and Kelly?
Those are between us two.
Okay.
And then we'll have guests on to tell their story about, certain injuries that we talk about on the site.
Right.
Yeah, like because yours was Achilles tendinopathy. And so that was paired with like a very in-depth video about rehabbing back from it alongside a nerdy research-based podcast.
Wait a minute. This is on your Patreon.
This is now it's on a website.
Because I didn't know you guys did something about that on a video on that. So you took my podcast, put it on your Patreon, and made a video.
Your podcast was free.
No, I understand that, right?
Yeah.
But you made a video that coincided with that injury.
Yep.
That's on your Patreon. So now if I'm a Patreon subscriber, I could be like, oh, damn, Chris, I had the same injury as Chris, the Achilles tendon.
Exactly.
I can go on there and see
What to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then learn more about the injury that Chris went through.
It's pretty.
And then we did that with Kelly's hip injury and, a bunch of other topics.
Every time I've hurt myself like that, the ankle, the hip, I'm always looking up, what can I do? People do that all the time, but if they know to go to your guys' Patreon, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. That's super dope.
that's congratulations on it.
So, 'cause we're
thank you
looking-
for doing that.
Yeah, we're looking at your website right now. So it's Old Friends Fitness. This is oldfriendsfitness.com. And so here's your little rehab programs: MCL injury, plantar fasciitis. Ooh, I've had that. It's horrible, man.
That one sucks.
Shin splints. Oh, I think I've gone through that too. I've had all of these. I need to subscribe. Shit.
Yeah, so meniscus, hip flexor.
Is there a shoulder one up there?
We haven't. That's a one we get requested a lot.
Let's go.
That's on the list.
I got it. I could come in for that one.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you said you dislocated yours, right?
Yeah. In
That's
99.
That's the shoulder injury that I get hit up a lot about from skaters, like the fall plus the dislocation.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's definitely on the list.
Yeah.
Because did you pop it back in yourself?
Yes.
Damn.
So it popped out, and my first instinct was just to reach for the sky. And as soon as I reached for the sky, I went back in. But then I relaxed a little bit, and I tried to go sit in the car, and I was just sitting there, just chilling in the car, and the shit just popped out with me just chilling.
Oh, wow. Just
So
pop
I
back out.
just popped back out.
Yeah.
So I got out of the car and did the same thing again and reached for the sky, and sure enough, it went back in.
Wow.
Then I got a splint, and then I was like, all right, now I'm going to hold it. Because
Yeah.
now it was so like volatile that it just was able to just fall out.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, and that one lingered for days. And again,
that was intuitive of you, just to like, oh shit, it's out.
yeah, that was my first instinct.
Lift the arm up and it went right back
Yep,
in.
yep.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
Damn.
I didn't know what it felt so weird. Obviously, anything that's dislocated feels weird, but yeah, that was my cat instinct.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And it
that
worked
out. Yeah.
Nice.
Did you go to physical therapy
Nope.
for that? Or no. You
same
just,
thing. Yeah.
Where'd you get the splints? Like a splint, CVS?
I got it from CVS. Yeah. self-medicated myself in that sense, and now I
You self-popped it back in.
self-popped it back in, and I took myself to Rite Aid and grabbed a little thing, and then
You didn't think about going to the doctor at all?
I didn't
for
have
that?
insurance, bro. And that's another thing that I think that skaters definitely need to be aware of, man.
Right.
You know, a lot of kids, skateboarders in general, will shy away because they don't have health insurance.
Yeah.
You know, and health insurance is not cheap, man.
Yep.
So
Yeah. And then a simple ankle injury can take you out for like 5 years or completely ruin
your
your career.
career, no
I
doubt.
always go back
So
to like
common.
Scott Kane. Remember
Yeah.
Scott Kane? He dealt with a big ankle thing, and it
Yeah.
kind of like took him out of the skateboarding,
Yeah, it's
limelight
so
because
sad.
like no insurance. You start self-medicating yourself. You start going
Yeah.
into this thing because we don't have insurance.
Yeah.
There are some companies out there, so shout out those companies that actually do provide insurance for their skaters.
And
Good.
shout
I'm,
out-
I'm
Very
glad.
few-
I'm glad to hear that.
Very few and far between.
Very
shout out to
few.
other countries that give health insurance too.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Most
'Cause
importantly, yeah.
it's like, you know,
should be.
we should have that here,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
apparently, obviously, it's
It's a basic.
Yeah.
It's a basic.
just come on.
Man.
So I'm glad to hear that some companies are.
some
I was
companies
just gonna
do.
ask. Do you know who? Like, I feel like I've never
I
heard
know
anything
who I could tell you
hard.
off. I don't know if it's we can talk.
Okay,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know, but some companies do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's
Not 9 Club, because we get really messed up in here sometimes. So it's,
dude, getting up from
yeah,
a chair.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this guy? He wants this guy wants insurance for folding
On
blankets.
Hey, man.
Got to pay his deductible.
I
for
probably
my
get
blanket.
I probably get it from sitting here for so
I was going
long,
to say, you
know?
guys sit a lot of hours. It's tough on the
Dude,
back.
it's a couple hours a week. It's nothing.
couple hours, dude.
He sits more watching TV
Hey,
probably.
you guys just hit me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can skip the insurance
These are
stuff.
insurance. Yeah,
There we go.
exactly. Exactly. So, old friends, I'm glad you guys are doing a company that actually like provides a service to skateboarders. And like I said in the beginning of the show, I think we all just want to try to skate for as long as we can. You
Yeah,
know, and the older we
100%.
get, the harder it is to do that. That's why we, I don't want to plug anything right now, but Athletic Greens and our Element electrolyte drink and like all that stuff. It's like we just want to skate longer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think there's definitely been a transition from like when I was growing up skating in the mid 90s, what we thought about our health back then
Oh, yeah.
to now. And
Big time.
it's fun to see skaters starting to take that stuff a little bit more serious so they can
Totally.
keep skating, into their late 30s, early mid 40s. And it's possible. You got to work for it, but
I think
it's
times have
definitely
changed
possible.
though, because we always talk about how back in the day, like Jeron, like when you hit 18 or 20, like you think you're already done. Skating.
Yeah, I think that time in skateboarding, especially in like the late 80s, early 90s, like dudes were just like, all right, man, I'm 20 years old. Like, I'm done.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, what am I going to do
There was
next?
no objective or thought process to like work out or do all this stuff to keep you skating because you're going to be done in a couple years.
Yeah.
Totally.
And
Right?
especially if you're not even seeing anyone 30, 40 plus
Oh, yeah.
skating
Exactly.
at all, you're
Exactly.
probably just like, well, it probably doesn't work. Or like,
Exactly.
there's no examples for it. But now there's so many. It's incredible.
Yeah,
A
dude,
lot.
definitely.
Or also
Yeah.
what I would see a lot is when you have that first injury, like Kelly, you had that big ankle injury. How
Yeah.
old were you?
The first one, I was 20 years old.
So that would, back in the day, you were just done forever.
Yeah.
Like when you had that first big injury, like back in the day, you were just that. All right, that's it.
I remember the second one where that one you're thinking of, that I dislocated my ankle.
The one at the Westchester.
Yeah,
Park?
that one. I remember texting my friend, my team manager, Matt Dodge at the time. I was like, dude, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like at 27, my ankle's sitting there popped off sideways, and I'm like,
I will
I'm
never
done.
get back.
Yeah, but I don't
never.
know. I mean, I'm always gonna love skating, but I'm like, dude, I don't know what I can do here.
But you always think so harsh in that moment, what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously not knowing like, this shit is going to work itself out. I'm going to be able to skate again.
I mean, it's terrifying when you see your ankle.
No,
facing the
totally,
other
and
way.
I-
You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you just have to like sit there, and I had to sit there for 4 hours and just let it
Jeez.
sit there.
Oh.
But you just gotta know nowadays. At least we know we can keep going.
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's what skaters are starting to slowly realize. Like,
Right.
all right, injuries are part of skating, as
Yeah.
you all know. But when you have a big injury, or even when you have a little injury, it's not the end of your skateboarding. You can
No.
do things to get back strong or even stronger with these certain things.
Oh my gosh.
And if you have the support of your sponsors, obviously, because that's the main thing. Like if your sponsor just gives up on you just because you broke your ankle, I mean that probably wasn't meant to be anyway.
Yeah.
But if you have a sponsor that's going to be with you like through your injury and really like kind of like check in and make sure you're doing good, then that's a blessing right there.
That's
Straight
huge.
up, for sure.
That's huge. I think it should be expected, but
Definitely.
I mean,
I agree.
I think it sounds like things are getting better.
But we're sitting right here with Mr. Walker Ryan, author. He's written novels.
Two.
That's what I said, plural.
Oh,
novels.
yeah.
Plural.
Yeah.
But this, proof is in the pudding right here. I mean, you just came out with textures, right?
Oh,
this
thank
video
you, yeah.
part that got you on our 9 Club experience on the top billing of
saw
race
that,
for
dude.
Sodi
Damn.
2023.
Well
dude.
deserved.
Yeah, you're basically the skater of the month.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
take it.
January.
That's the moment,
But
right?
hey, he's still up at the top though.
Yeah.
It's already February going into March.
Hey, these days it's lucky to be considered skater of the day. YouTube videos coming out like, I mean, dude, like you put out a video and then you're just like, oh well, shit, they just dropped the video. Dude, damn it, why'd I have to pick this date?
That was right.
No,
But you do have good
I'm just
intros
honored.
to
Yeah.
your videos.
This was
Little
great.
skits
This was
and stuff
amazing.
This
that.
might be the best one. This one's so
It's
good.
pretty
man.
funny. Yeah.
So goofy. These are like these basically like alcohol induced ideas that somehow come to life and you're like, damn, well, like last summer we were joking about like making a video where my wife is like actually filming me and we a year later we've like done it. So
Right.
that's basically the gist of this. Like, wouldn't it be funny if our wives who definitely don't skate and just want to be on vacation are like roped into like filming a video.
right?
Yeah.
But she does film you though from time to time.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Like
Yeah.
more with the iPhone than any real camera.
For sure.
But yeah.
For sure. But
I filmed
man,
this, right?
Yeah.
She filmed it.
Reaching ahead of me in heels. Yeah.
rolling rolling fisheye. Yeah. So, but congrats on this video part.
Thank
too,
you.
because like
Thank
when
you.
we
Yeah.
saw this for the first, we were blown away, man. Because
No doubt.
listen, we know you just turned 21 years old, but like you're still just out there like doing. Switchback 3. Switchback
dude,
3.
That's smoke
kick-
right there.
Yeah.
Kick
Oh, that
flips.
was the worst slam I've ever had. And honestly, like I was so bummed initially, but then after watching it, I was like, dude, I think I got a slam for the part. Like I've never been a slam kind of guy. Like I'll take the hardest fall and watch it. I'm like, oh,
Doesn't look cool.
looked like lame. Like,
Yeah.
what was I even doing? Like, I ran out of it somehow and then fell, but that was like, all right, we can use that.
Now, was a lot of this just filmed on vacation? Obviously, some of this stuff's New York.
Yeah,
but-
that first section was.
Okay.
And then the rest of it is pretty much all New York and little California.
If you're on vacation, like in a different country, are you just hooking up with filmers out there? Did you have?
Well,
what?
It's convenient that Patrick Wallner is one of my best friends who I've filmed with over the years, who I actually met through Kyle. Gotta take the origins back to Thailand. We have been going on vacations together, like family style, like our two, yeah.
So the wives are like, let the boys go out and have their little fun.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
That's
We'll
tight,
go
though.
shop or do whatever we do, hang
Yeah.
out.
This one was hilarious though because they were down for the idea in theory, but then in practice that means like, all right, girls, like, do you have the same outfit because we need continuity and we need to find the shop today? And there's like a layer of stress to like every day that's supposed to just be like vacation, like the girls are off work, like, but we're like trying to make sure like it comes out right.
Like it's vacation, but you're still working.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's funny, and it's all for like a silly intro video. Like no one's paying us to do this. This is just like an idea we came up with, and then just like needed to execute.
How did you figure out the spots you wanted to go to during this?
When we were in Italy, or the rest of it?
Just like even planning trips out, we were like,
Just like let's cross our fingers and hope that this island has some skate spots.
yeah, is that kind of what happened?
Yeah, for sure.
You
Like,
had no idea going to the spot or this place or Italy.
no, yeah. We just went to Sicily. We knew that there were those quarter pipes.
Oh, yeah,
and it was
yeah.
a weird coincidence that we got an Airbnb around the corner. But the rest of it was like, because we're going to islands that we've never been to before, and most people definitely never seen skate spots at. So it's just like let's see what we can find. But that's how
Sick.
we did that for like 10 years with his visual traveling video series,
Yeah.
which was like, let's go to a country no one's ever skated before, or at least like documented skating, and see what we can find. And it's always just like, sometimes you meet up with a guide or the guides find you. They're like, oh my God, there's American skaters or European skaters in town. Like, boom. And then we have like a crew. But a lot of times it's just like, taking little Google Earth images and then like wandering in a cab. Yeah.
Do you ever go to like skate shops out there?
I mean, these are places that don't have skate shops.
Right,
You know,
true,
like
Wow.
there's no shops in Bangladesh or
Right.
Iran.
I don't know. There could
Yeah.
be.
I mean, so a lot of there are.
Could be selling the old crowd board out there.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it makes its way.
But there's always like a local skater or two that you
Yeah.
try
You
to
run
link up
into.
with.
Usually, yeah. It's worked out pretty well. So it's kind of just that same mindset of like, we'll find something with a fisheye, we'll make it work, you know?
Yeah, I love that
like
attitude.
This was like a block away from the hotel we were staying at. And it was
Dope.
just like, cool, let's
Film a cool
let's
little
force
line.
it. Yeah.
Just when you know it's all gonna work out.
Yeah.
But congrats on the video part. I mean,
I really appreciate
really
that.
good,
Yeah,
dude.
man.
And it just goes to it's a testimonial video too of just like you keep in shape. I mean, you're still just doing insane
Hell
stuff. You
Thank
know,
you,
you're
yeah.
killing it out there, man.
And the I'm assuming because I heard the name textures.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's got to be dealt with like the skate spots, like the textures of the ground and stuff like that.
Yeah, it kind of like it was sort of an idea I had like when I was looking at all the footage. Like, oh, it's kind of cool that there's like, you know, that like the hexagonal tiles and then the bricks and like New York just has really cool pavement everywhere. And when I showed the footage to Patrick, who edited it, he was just like, ooh, what if we called it like textures? I'm liking the textures thing going on. So I was like, oh, perfect. I didn't even have to push it, because normally I'm kind of like pushy with all like my little concepts, and eventually people are like,
You're
dude,
pushy.
drop it.
But this little session right here, you went off on that
Dude.
stair, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, I wish I could call it a session. It was more of like 50 sessions.
Dude, and then this one, the
Jeez,
switchback 3
bro.
flip.
Yeah,
Oh,
in
my
particular for
God.
that was easily the hardest I've ever worked for a single trick.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, so
Really?
well worth it, bro. That shit was amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen you work hard.
I
at things,
know,
but
and
that
dude,
one
this
specifically.
one tops it by far, only because it felt like 10 years in the making. Like I first tried it down a set to try to like get the switchback 3 kickflip down like a stair set
Yeah.
for my Transworld part in like 2012 or something. And every video part I would like throw it out there like, all right, you know, maybe this set, maybe this nine, maybe this
is
thing.
it. Yeah.
But this one finally like what felt like it was it. And so the first time I went, I stuck it a couple times, and then it was probably like 5 times of just like relentless sticks. And that's the thing, it's like it's not just like, oh, I tried it and like didn't come close. Like I would fucking stick that thing like 50 times a try.
Oh my
And
gosh.
just walk away completely broken, like emotionally and
yeah.
just like everything. So
Was
it
there something about this spot that
well,
that
I'd
made
sort
it-
of set
made it
up
work?
this silly idea of like, oh, the tricks all sort of add up to it. It's
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
switch
yeah.
big spin, the switch big flip, the nollie big flip, the nollie 360 kick flip, and then it just needed that trick. So
Yeah.
there was just like no way I couldn't.
This was the
needed it.
time.
It needed. There's no other choice. Yeah. And so yeah, I was just like so relieved to roll away.
good
was-
stuff, man?
Did you film that trick earlier on or at the end?
The very end, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was hanging over my head for a long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think this was your best part.
Thanks, dude.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's why he's up.
I really
there.
did.
That's why he's
Yeah.
up on the
I really did.
2023
I could've-
Sony
I
2023.
could've done it.
I'm so glad you guys are acknowledging that. 'Cause, yeah, this is your strongest part.
I could have done it out without Kyle, really, you know, because like basically what we've done with Old Friends Fitness too is just like every injury I've had, I'm like, can we just like make a video so like I can rehab back from this? 'Cause, like, I mean, dude, you get into your I'm 34. It's not like I mean, knock on wood, it's not the ankle breaking or the like dramatic injury. It's these little nagging ones that just plague you like and take forever. The groin injury,
Sure.
the
Yeah.
hamstring strain, all that shit. So
Right.
that's the thing that's like funny about it. I don't know. Like I watched the video part. I'm like very relieved it's over, but I'm just like, damn, like that one was so painful during that day, or this one was like hurting with that injury. And it's
Yeah.
just like, but it's fun. I mean, I'm also feeling like somehow better on my board, even with some of the jumping stuff than I have ever in my life, which
Wow.
confuses me. It's like was that supposed to? How did that work out? Like now mid-30s, and I'm like still cool jumping down a big
But you
set.
but you take care of yourself now, right? I mean, like, obviously, listen, you have a company that deals with fitness. Like, hopefully you are taking care of yourself.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, Kyle gets on me though. I'm not the best at it, but I try. You know,
There
I
you
try
go.
hard.
As long as I've known you, you've always been stretching and doing all that before you skate.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, I mean, I do to an extent, but you're
Yeah.
like full on take like 10, 15 minutes, right? Or a half an hour
definitely.
maybe.
I mean, I think honestly, Kelly, you're killing it with the jump roping. Every time I see your jump roping videos, I'm like, I fucking need to do that. Like that's like seems like the perfect kind of thing to like just stay on it.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
every skater should do.
I wish my hip. I need to come back to physical therapy with you again, because if I got that thing back, but I don't think it'll be the same motion anymore.
Oh, the hip still.
The hip, it doesn't
issue.
hurt. It
Yeah.
doesn't hurt like it did.
Mm-hmm.
Like after I got the surgery, I was like, cool, I can like do things and it doesn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But I could definitely start doing that again. I don't know. I should.
It's a tough one. It's a tough
But
one.
yeah, if I wanted to come, I have to get a note from my doctor, or what's it called?
A referral?
A referral, right? I can't just go to you and be like, hey,
You can, but if you want to use your insurance, sometimes you need to get a referral from
Yeah.
a medical doctor.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
So
you
I-
said I could come can come in for.
Unless you're Chris. Chris.
I was
Why-
making sure that offer still.
But some insurances you can have direct access to PT. So it just depends on what plan you're on these days.
Listen, I want to just ask you a question, because like, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there watching or listening that don't have insurance, and like they want to go to PT, they want to seek somebody out. Like, what is a normal non-insurance payment for like a PT session?
It's not cheap. Like if you wanted to see me for just a full 1 hour consultation at my clinic, I think our cash prices are like $200, $210.
Seriously?
So it's not cheap.
And that's just a consultation, or that's a per visit?
The follow-up visits after that are cheaper.
What are we talking?
Probably like $120. But
So
it's
initial kind of evaluation, 200, and then after that, 100 and what'd you say?
120.
120.
Something like
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Interesting.
it's not cheap.
No, I remember, but when I had my Achilles tendon, sorry to interrupt, I spent a fortune. I
Yeah.
had no insurance. I was filming this Transworld video, and I literally spent a fortune going to physical therapy for literally a year.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
and I'm sure insurance wouldn't have covered a whole year of physical therapy. I'm sure it would have had to
Some
come out of pocket.
insurances, yeah.
But, dude, I spent
had-
a lot of
Yeah.
money, dude.
Yeah. It's
It
not
was,
cheap.
It was horrible, but it was worth it in the end.
for sure.
Came out with the sub video part, and
Came out with the full
that
video part.
Video
Yeah.
part was excellent.
I
love that shit.
It's
You
cool.
can come back anytime.
But that's definitely a challenge. But what I try to do with because a lot of skaters that come and see me don't have insurance.
Yeah.
So I try to give them like the skater discount,
Okay.
and then I'll try to just get them. I try to help them help themselves pretty much. So
Get them
I'll
on
try
a
to get
routine
them
that
on
they could take home.
on a program that they can do at home, and I'll say, hey, ride this out as long as you can. Come back and see me when you need to, but like if you do this, and this for this amount of time, it should make a difference. You don't necessarily have to come back and see me like we traditionally do in PT once or twice a
Right.
week if you
Right.
do these things.
Man, I will tell
But
you
it's
this.
tough.
I will tell you this though. It is a lot easier when you have to when you go into a place.
It is, yeah.
And somebody is there telling you like, okay, get down on the ground,
Yeah.
do this. And when you're
Versus doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, skaters don't like homework.
when you're just
Yeah.
at
Oh,
home
yeah.
sitting on the
Yeah.
couch,
Yeah.
like it's so hard for me to get on the ground and just
Yeah.
start doing some shit.
Yeah,
It's tough. I'd rather drive somewhere and have somebody tell me to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Does it
But-
matter?
crazy.
Does it matter what the injury is to how much something like that costs? Like if
It does. I mean, if you have an injury that's going to take a month to get back from, like an ankle sprain, then it's not going to cost as much because you're not going to have to come in as frequent. But if there's a complex injury that's going to take several months,
yeah, okay. So long term wise, sometimes it'll get more expensive depending you're coming back.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter like what the actual.
no,
Okay.
No.
Okay.
no.
Just
A
interesting.
PT session is a PT session.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
I love PT. Man, you get the little, you get the
You gotta
little-
you gotta come on by, dude.
Oh, dude, I'll just come by just for the stem and ice at the end.
Oh, the
dude.
easy
I love
stuff,
that.
okay.
Oh my god! You sit there with the little stimulation on
Oh,
the
yeah.
ankle. They put a little ice on there. You just read a magazine. Like it's dope.
Read a magazine. That shows how long ago you went to a PT place.
I was gonna say, Kelly's like, how come we never did that with when I saw Kyle?
What magazine? What magazine? What magazines?
It was
I
like
didn't
a-
see any magazines in your
They don't
place.
got no
dude.
magazines.
You don't have any? You don't got any glamour magazines over there?
I'll get some Thrashers ready for you when he comes, and I'll get the stim machine nice and warmed up for you.
A stim machine. I have a nice stim machine that my old physical
You
therapist.
said they gave it to you, right?
She bought it and then I paid her for
Right,
it.
right.
Basically, yeah. Because you can't buy them unless you're.
You can now.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, you can.
No, I'm
now.
not talking about the little ones that people buy.
Oh, you're talking
little-
about the big
It's a
industrial
big,
one?
yeah, it's a big.
Oh, you got the
industrial-
big boy, huh?
I got a big boy.
Wow.
I got a
Still
big
have
boy.
it?
Yeah.
Dude, why don't you bring it to the 9 Club headquarters so when Kelly's back goes out.
Yeah,
I
dude.
don't need a lawsuit by him putting the little what are those things called? The little patches,
the electrodes.
Yeah, the little,
I need like, the health
gonna be-
insurance, and I need that.
he's gonna be putting the electrodes on some weird tendon or some thing, and he's like, "Dude, I can't feel my hand anymore.
Put it weird places. Like, I'm gonna put it here,
Can't
man.
feel my hand." Those things are gnarly.
They can be gnarly, yeah.
They're
Because if you turn
gnarly.
up high enough, they'll make your muscle twitch.
Exactly. Exactly.
The other thing that was cool when I see Kyle is like we go in there and we start doing the workouts, but we'll talk about skating.
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
That is fun.
It is fun.
That's what's fun about seeing skaters, too.
Yeah, because you're just like unconsciously doing your workout, but like talking about something that you love.
Yeah.
with someone that loves it too. So, shout out to Kyle Brown
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks.
and Walker too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doctor of physical therapy.
And pro skate nerd. You know, you're up there.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got
Wait, so you ride for Preduce?
I still ride for Preduce, yeah.
Yeah, that's it out of Thailand, right?
It's a Thai company, yeah. So that's
Amazing.
I lived in Thailand for a year in 2004, 2005, and I got linked up with all the guys at Preduce. And when I finished my year in Thailand, they asked me to ride for the company,
Wow.
and I've been riding for them ever since. And
Wow.
it's been fun because back then it was a small company. Now it's one of the, I think it's probably the biggest skate shop and skate company in Southeast Asia. So they've really grown over the past 15, 20 years.
How do you get boards? They send boards over here?
They send boards.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that-
awesome.
When I went there the one time, I got to meet, was it Simon?
Yep. Simon.
Yeah, but it was just like they took us in and they showed us around all the spots, and I was shout out to those guys. It's a really, really cool community.
They're
out
good
there.
dudes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon's
That's
one of
right.
my best friends. A lot of guys that I met there during that year have remained close friends. So I feel very fortunate to have been supported by them over the last several years.
This is it right here.
right.
Yeah.
What does all
Yep.
this say right here? Where can I find the team?
Can you
gotta-
read that?
You got to go to the upper. Oh, that's it. That's in English.
Where?
Yeah.
Some
Right
of
there.
it is.
But up there is Thai. No, I can't read Thai.
Oh, you can't?
You speak a little though,
I
right?
speak Nitnoi a little bit.
Yeah.
No, that's US dollars, bro.
Yeah. And actually,
Slash,
like,
hold
really,
on.
Kyle took me on my first international skate trip to Bangkok when I was like 17.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys took us around, or we stayed at their headquarters, and it was like one of the best, most life-changing experiences ever, because it basically like kicked off an obsession.
Was that when you were
Right.
filming for the Organica part?
No, that was way before. I was still in high school, you know.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah.
my parents just somehow let us go. My parents didn't even know you very well, but they were somehow just like, you know what, this guy seems all right.
I guess
trust him with
I
my
guess I was
child.
trustworthy enough. Yeah.
What about did you guys go to Soy Cowboy?
Yeah, I mean the Preduce the Preduce house was right next to
Yeah.
Soy Cowboy.
Well, I can't remember who, but someone took me out there from there, and that was the wildest night I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
I bet.
This-
Yeah.
it's an interesting.
Wait, what
place.
is it called? Soy Cowboy?
Soy Cowboy, right?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
that exactly?
Kelly, you
It's,
want to explain?
Yeah, go
it's
ahead,
a
Kelly.
Party district.
It's a party district with a lot of wild stuff happening. I mean,
It's
okay.
like the CD nightlife zone.
Okay.
but didn't they base off the Hangover 3 or 2 there?
The Hangover 2 is large. A lot of it's filmed in that zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just if you,
I get it. Don't need to explain
no
Hey,
more.
anymore.
wait, I didn't. I was really quiet and just drank a beer and kind of just watched. I'm just
Yeah.
not. But the stories are like just what you see there is pretty wild.
I'm
But
sure.
it's in a really nice part of Bangkok. And we had kind of like a skate house for several years right next to that area. And I think, did you stay at the skate house or did you stay kind of in the zone
You know what? I think we got a hotel.
close by?
Yeah, close by.
Yeah.
It was like it was
Damn,
fun.
10th anniversary.
Yeah, so they just
I wasn't sure if you
re-released.
still had your board.
I haven't had a
online.
pro model for a while, but they just re-released this one.
Okay,
So-
look at that.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that graphic?
I don't know. It looks a little. Yeah.
It's a furry member.
There's some
It's a
phallic,
hairball
there's some
with
phallic
a,
energy there.
No doubt, dude.
Very penetrating graphic.
Wow. They really got it going on over there, huh? Okay. Shit.
Yeah, so this is done by and they've been in Bangkok for a long time. So they've teamed up with a lot of famous Thai artists, and this is one of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
sick.
Yeah, so we do a lot of fun collabs. So
What is
I'm
it?
really proud of how far we've come in the last 20 years or so.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is
So shout out to Preduce.
So they send you these boards and clothes and different
do.
things like that. Rad.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I even had a guest pro model on.
Walker had a guest pro model.
Really?
on there.
Amazing.
Wait, let's talk about this. What's up with the board situation right now?
My board situation? I have none.
Why?
Why? How do we want to go about this? No, I don't know.
Well, let's back up really quick, right?
Yeah.
Because Sovereign.
Yeah.
You quit Sovereign. This was a while
Yeah.
ago, 20 weeks ago, whatever, however many.
22. No, just kidding.
I mean, whatever the
But who's counting?
whatever the case may
Those
be.
are random.
right?
20 weeks.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like a very even number, but 20 weeks is an odd
Yeah.
distance.
Well, regardless, I had a great run with the
Yeah,
Sovereign Bros.
right.
Like, I love all those dudes. It was just 5 years had passed, and I just didn't feel like I was as connected with the crew.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people had left. It was kind of cruising. It is kind of cruising along, but it's it's sort of everyone who's involved. It's kind of like their side project.
Gotcha.
Which they do it for the love. It's their passion project, and they make it an amazing thing. And so I was stoked to be a part of it, but not being in LA, only getting to go on like maybe one trip a year with the guys, it just felt like there was such a disconnect, and I kind of wanted to just, I don't know, like try something out, try something else if there's something out there, or just, like, it's a weird time when you're 34, like, I mean, I'm unsponsored now,
Sure.
like, I don't have anyone paying me. And it's sort of a liberating thing, but also like nerve-wracking, like, is it done? Like, I have enough things, I have so many things going on that I'm not really tripping, but it's I don't know, it's just it was a chapter to close in a sense, but
Right.
big love to everyone who was involved.
Yeah,
Who
it
is involved,
It is
yeah.
an interesting thing not having a board sponsor and getting older too, But I also feel like you're content as well, right? I mean, obviously we want to be a part of
Yeah.
something.
And that's really it. Like, I just want to
Yeah.
be, if I am going to be a part of something, because I'd love to have my name on a board
Mm-hmm.
for as long as I am skating.
Sure.
But I just want to feel really connected to that
Yes.
company, and whether it's through the skaters I'm actively skating with, or being part of a kind of like a bigger thing that you feel connected to, which I'm sure you've always felt with the Crail Tap camp.
Sure.
It's like, this is an institution. Like, this is like, I'm always, whether I'm getting paid or not, like, I want to rep this stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
And it just got to a point where I'm like, I really love the guys behind the scenes who run Sovereign, but I was just like, what am I really a part of? Like, who's out there skating with Sovereign? And I don't know. I just kind of wanted to switch up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Is
makes
there
sense.
anything that
Yeah.
you're currently looking for? Are you getting boards from anybody? Are you?
I got some people helping me out with boards,
Yeah?
but
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah.
Okay,
Nothing
okay.
really. So
I mean, to
we'll
be
see.
honest, I was like, it's having that board sponsor like that isn't really as
Yeah.
much as it was back then. But like, the important thing you said, like, it's just you want to feel connected with something.
Totally.
And I mean, I don't know. You just keep doing your own thing.
Yeah.
You guys don't make any old friends boards?
No, we've never done boards. Making
Yeah.
boards kind of scares me.
It's scary.
Like, I shipped a board one time, like, across the country, just like Jimmy Carlin needed a board. I was like, oh, I'll ship you a board. I'm like, oh my God, that was so expensive.
Yeah.
One board.
It's enough like shipping foam rollers and stuff around the country, but that's one thing that I've always been wondering, like, how do people pull it off? Like,
Right.
I know a lot of times you're connected to an account, or if you ship
You
enough,
get
it's fine.
savvy when
Yeah.
you're shipping boards.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, but just going out, barging it with like, oh, let's just put out some boards, like, doesn't really appeal to me on that front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I props to everyone who does it. Like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
For sure.
By
Sure
the
about-
way, sorry if you're hearing some of they're doing work on the upstairs. So
Oh,
sorry for if
We're expanding.
if you're
Yeah.
hearing anything. We're building a new studio up there. So sorry if you're hearing any
Yeah.
background noises of rumblings and stuff like that.
not
But anyway, so but it's crazy though. This is what I think. This is what trips people out. Is like, here's Walker Ryan. He comes out with this crazy part, but he's like, he's not tied to anybody. There's no sponsorships going on. Like, that
Yeah.
trips me out. Like, I feel like you should have a home.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well,
Oh,
it's-
maybe
it
I
takes
agree- I
time.
agree as
Yeah,
well.
I mean,
Things
There's
just
a good tie
Yeah.
company that
What's up? Is this my sponsor?
We'll have you any day. Preduce will have you.
you could
any
have some
day.
phallic images on your board as well.
So just a red one. Just a
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, talking to people.
Okay, so
lightly,
you are
but yeah,
lightly. There's conversations
little,
going on.
There's little things,
Okay.
That's
irons
good.
in the fire, but
That's good to hear.
nothing locked in that I'm here to announce.
What about shoes? Anything?
I've been getting Nikes
Okay.
for the last few years, but I don't think they want to do anything more.
Shoes are tougher
Yeah.
than a board brand, I believe.
yeah.
Shoes
Well,
are tough.
I would say
Yeah.
across the board in skateboarding is just tough.
Yeah.
Everywhere I hear it, every company, I don't care. I almost don't even care what company it is.
Yeah.
We got to make some budget cuts.
I know.
And
it's wild.
that's literally happening.
Yeah.
So it's hard to be adding on when people are taking budget cuts.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird time right now.
And there's so many kids out there that are good, and maybe all these companies that they want to, bring a kid up in their universe. You know?
And that was even one of the things I when I left Sovereign, I said, I'm like, you put what you're paying me, hook up some kids, get something new going for the brand that's gonna like help its identity and growth. And like, I don't know, being away, it just felt like I was a drag on that. So
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, I'm open to something new, but I'm also like at a point where I'm like, I got 10 years with my name on a board, or 11 or something like that. Like that was a cool run. Like I'm psyched, like I'm always going to skate. It's not, I'm probably going to try to put out another video part
I mean, you
one of
should
these
pro
days,
for
like,
Organica.
yeah.
Like straight
I
Carl
got-
Watson.
Carl
and,
Watson gave me the
come
nod.
on,
Like I'm hyped,
Yeah.
Like, it's so, it's not, it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? Fluid these days, what it means to be pro. It's like, you could be an Instagram kid with like 500,000 followers, but like, or winning the Olympics, but you don't have your name on a board. So it's sort of like,
Right.
what
Yeah.
does it even, what does it mean these days?
Totally.
It's really
What-
a strange thing.
It is strange.
We were talking about how you were at the top of the list of the Skater 2023, whatever the watch, and we're talking the other day about Patrick Proman. I was like, we should put him on there, like on the
Yeah.
list, because he's been killing it this year. But they were like, no, he's AM. I'm like, I don't know if that even matters anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
understand. We all grew up in that era where the
Yeah,
pro
yeah,
and
yeah.
AM and flow actually meant something. Now it's like, what does that
Yeah.
really mean?
Yeah,
It's all
totally.
made up.
I know.
It's
100%.
completely made up. So I don't know. It's just giving respect to the people that are doing something cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I was really thankful to just have that video part on Thrasher, like the biggest platform, and
Yeah.
have you guys talk about it. And it's just one of those things. It's like you're just I look at a video part like like these books, like I'm just I want to just put out stuff that I'm like passionate about.
For sure.
Yeah,
Like
for
I want to
sure.
just like, I have a concept, I have tricks I know I'm capable of doing that I want to like test and see if I can do, and I'm gonna put it together in a
But
part,
also, looking at your video part and your history of skating and what you did, like you did the Wilshire video where you hit all the spots on Wilshire.
Yeah.
But it's like, you look at that, and any company that's looking at you would be like, oh, yes, this guy he's working still. Like we can count on him for whatever we need, pretty much.
sure.
Which maybe some older skaters, they can't be counted on
Yeah.
as much as you know.
Well, hit me up.
There you go. But let's talk about also the books, because you have
thanks.
the Top of Mason, right, which came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, 2 years, 2.5 years ago, yeah.
And then now you got the Off Clark book.
Yeah, the follow-up, kind of.
Okay, this is
It's not really a sequel,
Okay.
but what I'm trying to do with these books is create sort of a fictional skateboarding universe, and the characters will kind of pop in and out. Top of Mason was a San Francisco-based story. Like, it all happens in San Francisco, and it's about a am who never made it pro who, like, gets into some wild shit. And so it's like an adventure story.
Don't spoil anything.
Yeah, no, I won't. And then this other one, this new one, Off Clark, this is a story of like picture a kind of modern day Kenny Reed, like a traveling nomad skater who's off the gram and off the social media accounts, who goes missing.
Oh, okay.
So it's a podcast. It's told from the perspective of a podcaster, a reporter who makes a podcast, trying to figure out what happened to him. So it's like each chapter starts with a snippet from this podcast, like investigating his disappearance, and then it takes you through like what happened. And so it's much more inspired by like all the weird traveling I did the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And most specifically, a situation my buddy Michael Macrock got into in Chicago, where he was essentially confronted by a CIA agent who like didn't believe that he was just a pro skater. He was like, it was an on-the-spot interrogation that just like spooked the shit out of him.
Wow.
And I just thought that was like such a funny premise to like include and sort of kick off a wild plot.
Wait. I know this is not your story to tell, but
Right.
like, what happened there? Like some he got confronted by a CIA agent.
Yeah, so he's from Germany, and he was
Okay.
visiting Chicago, and he was just
Skating.
skating, normal skate trip, but the guy was like, what's really going on
Was he
here?
skating
Wow.
a federal?
Yeah,
on
and they were,
federal property?
they were doing the thing you
Yeah.
do in downtown districts where they
Okay.
kept going back to the same building over and over again, and he was just like suspicious, and I think they just had they'd been following him like the whole time, all this shit that I was just
Crazy.
like,
Wow.
oh my god, this would be such a fun like story to include.
They didn't need to actually take him into the.
No,
this
it
was
was
like
just
on
at
the
a
spot.
bar, yeah,
At a
like-
bar.
At a bar.
Yeah.
Hey, let me buy you a drink. Let me talk. Let's talk. What the hell are you doing
Yeah,
here?
yeah,
But kind of, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. He writes about it in a little article that's on Free Skate.
Okay.
You can read it.
Okay.
It's like called Mishi's Travels. But
Wow.
I was on a trip with him right after it had happened, and he was just like going into detail, and he read it and then like kind of like fine tuned some things, and so that's not like the like that's sort of the kickoff to the story. It like takes a completely different direction, and all the characters are different, But I just thought like, wow, that's so interesting. Like skaters are like these sort of perfect suspicious characters, like, oh yeah, I went to Iran, I went to Afghanistan, I went to Yemen, like why?
Yeah.
Why did you go to these places? Like, what are you doing? So yeah, I just thought I'd have a little fun.
And
with
you didn't go sightsee the whole time you were there. You didn't go to do
right,
any
yeah, right.
sightseeing.
You stayed in these alleyways
Right.
and these like government buildings. Like, what the fuck are you really
You're
doing?
skating
yeah.
monuments and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing over there?
Yeah. So it's like that's just a small part of it, but it's sort of I wanted to, for the second novel, really bring to life some of the traveling experiences I've had to, and just like how it gets you into these random pockets of the world. And like,
Wow.
I've written these with the intention that like a non-skater could 100% enjoy them, but a skater would relate or be curious. Like the way that this one plays out is also an opportunity to sort of in a fake podcast form do a little expose on like the weird existence of pro skating. Like what are like how do you get paid? Like why are you getting paid? Like how are you this like traveling nomad that just like gets money every month, like that sort of thing is fun to explore. So
And it's also it's a top question everybody has.
Yeah.
Once they're like, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm a skateboarder.
Yeah.
Well, how does that work?
Yeah.
That's so true.
What
Exactly.
do you do?
You
Yeah.
do competitions? Like it's
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
thing they
Yeah.
go to.
Yeah.
Are you doing
Yeah.
ice
No,
games?
you know Tony Hawk?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I know Tony Hawk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the three. Those are the three questions, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
rather than answer it, I'm just like I'll just write, like
I'll write a book.
200,000 words and explain it in there.
Read this.
Wait, how long does it take you to write a book like that?
So this one, it's basically like a year and a half of writing, kind of like picking away at it, and then another year or so of editing. This one I was almost like done with this one when I put out Top of Mason. And just because I'd finished Top of Mason so long before I actually put it out.
Oh, okay.
And then it's just massive editing. So it's like, it's one thing, like I'm writing a third one right now, and I just, every day I wake up, I try to just like punch out a little paragraph or two, Sometimes I'll get in a groove and maybe write like a couple pages or more. And, it's kind of like filming a video part. After a couple of years, you got something you can work with, And it's just sort of always building on this thing. And like, I'm just in my head, anytime I'm bored, basically to just like fight my own crushing anxiety, I'll just like work on the story, like let me just like fix some issues in this like plot rather than
Do you get like
Wow,
that's-
that's crazy.
do you
bro.
get because when we all skate we get like frustrated on certain tricks? Do you get frustrated when you're writing a book somehow of like, why can't I put this together? Or like
Yeah.
like a certain paragraph.
like a
100%.
mental block.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. There's so many parallels and like ways you can connect it. But yeah, because like what I'll usually do is I have it in my head or in notepads like structured out like how it's gonna move, but then like really bringing it to life, you just get stuck, So it's sort of that same thing.
So do you have the idea kind of just on a
Yeah,
board,
like-
but then you have to fill in everything that leads to each other,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay.
And like, just trying to bring out a scene that explains what you're trying to explain, so you're not just like making it boring,
Yeah.
And it's I like novels because or at least the way I write them and the way I like to read novels, it's almost like reading a script, It's so much dialogue. It's like back and forth talking, not just kind of like you're reading a textbook and just exposition,
Then you got Mark Suchu quote in the
Dude,
bag.
I got a Mark Suchu
Mark Suchu.
blurb.
On top of his craft, Walker wraps innumerable facets of a skater's psyche into one wild plot.
So
Mark
good.
Suchu, Thrasher Magazine's 2021 Skater of the Year.
Yeah.
You know, I could have
Had to
quoted
put
you
that
on.
on
I
there.
could have quoted something not as good as that, but you know,
That's like the
I
most
would have
Mark
actually.
Suchu thing to say.
I know. I would have ran my quote through Chat GPT and
There
like
you
come out
go.
with something
Yeah.
really good.
I know, and who knows? ChatGPT might. I think they're like writing novels now. So,
That's what I'm saying. I'm
yeah.
going to write a book too, and
There you go.
just through
Yeah.
Chat GPT.
I wonder if
Yeah.
you like gave him the premise of what you wanted to do, what it would create.
I'd be so curious. Yeah, yeah.
Because I always saw like Chris D'Elia went on it. I saw on his podcast, and he like write a joke that Chris D'Elia would make.
That's what they do.
Wow.
Yeah, and then like it was pretty funny what they came up with, but it's
Yeah.
like, it's actually like pretty impressive.
Pretty-
It does
Yeah.
it instantly, or
like
does it?
pretty quick, right?
Wow.
Yeah. I've never done it.
Wait,
AI.
hold on, Raj.
Oh.
Don't do anything.
Can we go on that? On
Yeah,
here?
no, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I want to tell people though,
Okay.
go to Old Friends
Oh,
because
yeah.
you could buy the book Off Clark by Walker Ryan here. What's the
It's a
website
really
again?
good book. I'm not a reader, but I read this book in about 3 days. I just blasted
Really?
through
Blasted
it.
through it.
Love it.
It's on oldfriendsandco.com. That's their website, so you can go check it out. Anybody that's listening that wants to buy it. And I did have one other question for you too, because like
Yeah.
we are in the day and age of like audiobooks, and print is kind of going out of style,
Yeah.
so to speak. How do these do for you? How do these books? Do you only make a certain amount, or are they printed on demand, or how does this work?
I love talking about this aspect of it because publishing a book has so many meanings. You know, like I am technically self-publishing this, which means I'm putting them out myself, and so
Right.
I'm using this service called Lulu, which you just can print one book,
Okay.
and it's really pretty affordable, and so they're incredible because they offer an integration with Shopify,
Yeah.
which I run the Old Friends website with, and you just click a button, that book gets made anywhere in the world almost. Like if you're ordering it from Europe, like they have a print shop in Europe that just like takes it, sends it, boom.
Wow.
And so I'm not dealing with
It's a
inventory.
print on demand.
It's print on demand. Yeah, it's really incredible. I
That's
will
rad.
like make some bulk orders to like get them to skate shops and stuff like that, or if I want to sign copies. But for the most part, it's good, and I can make like between $15 and $20 a book sometimes, which like
Amazing.
the first one sold a couple thousand, so like that's like all right, this is encouraging me to like keep doing this. Like
That's
that's
rad.
like some good supplemental income. It's not just like, oh, I'm just breaking even, which is
Right.
like you can do that too, but it's there's something special about having a physical copy, like you were saying, but it's also on Kindle, so I'm getting a couple bucks anytime someone downloads it. It's also I hired my friend Rudy Behrens, who's one of my oldest skate friends, who is getting into voice acting, and he read Top of Mason and did an amazing job. So it's
Sick.
on Audible. Like
Okay.
I love the idea that all these things can sort of exist without me managing them. They're
Right.
just like they're out there. If you want to
Right.
click and download it, or like click and
All you need
order
to
the
do is
book.
market it.
Yeah, and so my job is just trying to get it out there as much
Right.
as possible.
Right.
That's a challenge. And so the other way that you would put out a book for the most, in the traditional publishing sense, is you have a big publisher who buys it and then they sell it on their own. And that's obviously still a goal of mine. I sort of knew all along that is a really hard thing to kick off a career with. I mean, think of all the millions of people who are out there like writing stories, trying to get published. I mean, they're just inundated with probably majority fantastic books. So it's just I want to try to like build my own audience, like I know there's skaters out there who want to watch movies about skating. Why not read a book about skating? That's like totally just for entertainment, fun. Like this is not to teach you anything. I mean, it's embedded in there, but it's like, a lot of times people think, oh, read a book, get educated. And like, I'm like, read a book, I want to get entertained, like I want to create this world in my head and just have fun.
For sure.
And
And
so-
are you going to do the same with your boy with the audio, Audible?
Yeah. Unless you make, if you want to kick off your career, we could do a little collab.
I could see that.
Let me see the. Can I see the book real quick?
Well, let's get a little excerpt going.
Flip
Yeah.
to a page.
I'm
you
really
got a good-
curious
you
to
got a
hear this.
Yeah.
Chris butchers some names sometimes. So
Listen, I got Mark Suchu's quote down pretty good. Dude. Like,
That was good, yeah.
There were some big words in there.
Yeah.
Double or nothing, Richie shouts. Right here. He launched, sorry. Oh, this should be, this is chapter 6, by the way.
We're not starting at the beginning.
This would be amazing, right? He's hunched over at the bottom of an 8 stair, waiting for Mo. Ooh, is it Mike Mo? No, Mo, to land the trick first. I need a bigger print, bro.
Okay. This is amazing that you turned to that page though, because this I totally. Okay,
I need glasses. I think
this is straight up.
Would that have been a good excerpt?
This is straight up a Kelly Hart inspo scene.
Oh, now we have to read it.
Oh god,
I totally know. I already that's something I would do right
Let's
here.
go.
So they're
do Kelly
filming
Hart's
each other.
voice.
There really
Listen.
aren't that many skate scenes, which is funny that you turned to this page. But it's all about like the filmer and the skater dynamic.
Okay.
Oh my god, what is it? I'm not gonna find the quote, but basically it's the character Mo is a pro skater and he's yelling things that Kelly used to be really good at yelling. If I never land it right, if I don't land it right here,
I remember that part. I remember that part.
Yeah, I was really.
If I don't
good
land it right here, I'm never having sex again.
I would say that quite often.
Wow.
Wait, it's in there. Yeah.
There's a lot of
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
The ultimate
You never told
pressure.
me you put that in there. It's
The
amazing.
ultimate pressure right there.
I totally forgot. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, there's a lot of dialogue in here.
Yeah, so
It's
it
a lot of
moves, it moves
dialogue.
quickly, you know. It's just like meant
Yeah.
to flow. So
It's a really fun read.
yeah.
The last time I saw Mo, he was traveling with his best friend, a man named Richie Johnson. Mm-hmm. Could be Richie Jackson. And spitting image of who you might picture when I say the name Spicoli, minus the tan. Richie is not only one of Mo's best friends, but also the guy who makes the most of Mo's videos. It is my assumption that he was the last person to see Mo. Oh, Mo's missing.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I don't want to... Sorry.
Yeah.
Enough to know. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay. Hey, anyway, Walker Ryan, off Clark, narrated by Chris Roberts, coming soon. And it's going to be just a disaster. Narrating this. It's a disaster, dude.
Yeah, the thing that you don't realize when it comes to a book like that, like I would never try reading that out loud because I don't have in my head when I'm writing it, I have ideas of their like accents and stuff, but like you have to be a voice actor to like really break it down. Like, oh wait, how does Gary sound every time he's talking? How does this girl sound every time she's talking? Like it's hard. I mean,
Totally.
It's amazing.
And you know what this is? I mean, there are AI voices out there. You can literally type in a script to these things, and it'll be like boy, girl, man, woman. You could get deep with these AI voices, and they sound real.
Yeah.
So you could.
That'd be fun to try.
But there is. I mean, how many characters are in this book?
A good amount.
Really?
I mean, there's a lot, and it's sort of more of a global story. So there's like a Middle Eastern guy, a British guy, it's.
So I'd have to get kind of a synopsis of who each person is.
Yeah, you'd want to, and what Rudy did for the last one is he didn't get too crazy with accents.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of just read it as is and sort of changed the intonation and did a great job. And so that's not necessary. This one is a little trickier since one of the main characters is British. So we're working on it right now, and we'll see how it
Hello, mate. Mo asks, I came back from skating and you weren't in the room.
You sound like
That's actually kind of how I envisioned him when I was reading the book. That's pretty good.
Well,
that's a little dicey to be throwing out accents like that.
I
Like,
know.
it's-
You get
I was
canceled.
thinking the same thing. Yeah.
You don't think my British accent was good?
No, I'm just saying if you're switching off all the time like that, like you could
tricky.
probably.
Hello, mate. Richie, what the fuck? Have you gone mental? That's my phone.
Pretty good.
It's not bad.
Not
Trip
bad
for
at
me to
all.
even hear that because it's only been in my head.
For me,
Hey, do
it's my best Paul Shire.
Yeah,
That's
there you go.
Or do Jeron voice.
double or nothing, Richie shouts.
Let's go.
Dude, sit down, Richard. Dude,
Richard would be something I would say. Richard, shut up.
Richard. Richie, what are you saying? Who came to you? The CIA, Mo. It's not just you. They reached out to me, too. Mo looks at him skeptically. Eventually, he cracks a grin. Bedtime! You motherfucker!
Oh, Chico.
Yeah,
Anyway. Dude,
good job, dude.
Hey, Rudy's got some
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah.
You're natural.
Off Clark, Walker Ryan, dude. Congrats,
Thank you.
man.
Yeah.
Second novel. And you're
Thanks.
working on a third.
Yeah, so I think this will just be something I'm always doing, you know, like in my
Love
head.
that.
It's hard to just like turn it off.
Sick, man.
And it just, you know, like at the end of the day, it doesn't take that much of my life. Like at the end of the final stretch does, because I'm like, all right, I really need to finalize this and like get it all lined up. And I'm also, Chris Collins, who's one of the other owners of Old Friends, he did the design, so like the top of Mason and the lettering and the inside, and then Sibo did the art.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of like, it takes a long time to bring those things together to really like see it in print, or see it in a hard copy and make it work. So I'm doing every aspect of it is a little bit daunting and like, oh my God, shoot me if I have to do it next month. But you know, the writing part, which is the hardest.
Yeah.
It's fun. You know,
like
it's
it.
just, I just enjoy it. It takes
That's right.
an hour of my morning, whatever, you know.
Yeah. It's like, is it kind of like skating where you get that same enjoyment out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely like lacking the rush, which I need for skating, you know, but it is that sort of like, all right, something I can do every day, a practice that like, you know, doesn't need my physical strength or health. And
I mean, you
I
just
don't know, I
filmed the
just enjoy
video
it.
part.
Yeah.
Like the book comes out, like video part's done.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Definitely.
yeah.
Sick, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, give it a shot. Or
Yeah.
when I finish the
Audio.
version, I'll send it over to you guys.
Oh
yeah.
Yes.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
This is good, man. So you guys got a lot of stuff going on with Old Friends. It's like becoming, not that it hasn't been, but it's becoming this like pretty good entity of like health and wellness and novels and kind of, it's like a kind of a wide variety of stuff, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, from the get-go, like we wanted to make hats and, you know, shirts, but I was so much more drawn to the, you know, the projects my friends were doing and like how we could sort of like come together on that, you know. So
Right.
remember those stave boards, those wine barrel skateboards?
Oh yeah.
You know, that's like an example of that. I was like, oh, my buddy Andrew Cole is making these. Like, let's do it together. Or like, you know, let's make a zine. Let's like, Kyle's doing physical therapy now. Let's make some foam rollers. So
Sick.
it's just sort of evolved in that way. And really, the part of it that's most exciting for me is all this stuff we're making with Kyle, all the video and podcast content, because I just feel like it's information that doesn't exist and it isn't for skateboarders and isn't out there. And it's just like, I want to make these products that like, even though they're just digital products, that they're available.
No, for sure.
It's
For
cool.
sure.
It's cool you guys have the moment to like capitalize on it, really, because now
Yeah.
like, you guys are the only ones doing it.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
For skateboarders from skateboarders.
Yeah,
There you
That's
go.
always
Definitely.
important.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the health and wellness part, it's huge, you know, because not only like, yeah, if you can make money off doing it, you know, that's great, but you're also providing this service to like
Yeah, it goes
a
hand in
lot
hand.
of people out there that like you said, like it's the little nagging injuries, right? It's those little things that really just, it can like really take the wind out of your sails, man.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't have that proper person to do the physical therapy with, or the proper instructions or whatever, like it can really get on you and play on your mental of like
Yeah.
you can't skate because of this stupid little thing.
Yeah, and it could also be kind of intimidating when you have an injury and you're a skater and you've never been to a doctor before. Like, where do I go? Like, there's a
Right.
bunch of different videos on YouTube, and you're hearing there's a lot of, in my opinion, junk on the internet. So like my dream has just been to have like a resource that skaters can go to and trust, just to kind of help them through these health issues.
Well, that's what they say is like, dude, if something's wrong with you, don't Google it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, like Google's going to tell you you're going to die.
Yeah, you
Like,
can go into
it-
some dark places
yeah,
on
like
Google.
Dark.
Yeah.
Like I got a
Yeah.
hangnail. Oh my God, I'm doomed.
Yeah.
I'm doomed.
Yeah,
So
chop,
wait,
the
chop,
end.
chop the finger
It's
off.
the end. Yeah.
Let's say no one's had like obviously heard of you guys, and if they just Google like skateboarder physical therapy, is that more likely? Will they be able to find you that way?
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Should we try
Okay.
it?
Let's try the
I'm not
SEO.
sure.
Let's try the SEO right now.
But I'm hoping
Yeah.
that starts happening.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
this new site we launched a month ago, so it's like brand new. Everything before that was on Patreon because we weren't really sure if there was going to be an audience who wanted to subscribe to this monthly and use it. But
sure.
it worked out well enough that, you know, we were like, all right, let's do this for real. When really we just took that content and sort of repackaged it. And
Look at this. Wait. Go back, Raj.
New York
Hold on.
Times.
Look.
Oh, yeah,
you're
little
the
New York
second
Times.
one.
Boom.
Kyle Brown.
So that's
There
actually
we
really
go.
good to know. You know,
hell
'cause-
yeah,
That's good.
Go to his
That's
Instagram. Go
Yeah.
click on it.
Yeah, and that's another thing is Kyle's Instagram is a huge, incredible resource on its own The problem is he just doesn't get to really expand on some of the
Look, we don't even
information
follow
sharing.
Mm.
And so
Thanks, Chris.
But yeah,
a free
these
session
are
right there.
these are good videos to watch for sure because it
Yeah.
relates to all these full skate injuries.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so these are kind of like the bite-size snippets of what we expand on the website.
Yeah. And really the podcasts are where you put in the most work because Kyle will like freshen up on all the research and basically answer every predictable question, right? For each injury so that you can listen to it and be like, I want to, like, what does it mean? Like when I'm 4 months out with a meniscus injury, like that kind of stuff. So,
Totally.
Just gave a follow as well.
oh, nice.
Hey.
And so
Thanks,
I
guys.
get to play the role of the clueless pro skater who just doesn't know shit.
But what I was gonna say, it's a really good team dynamic because I have all these ideas on doing stuff like what we're doing, but there's no way I can build a website or edit a video, so I really rely on Walker to make kind of my visions like come to reality. So it's
That's
been
dope.
it's really been a team effort.
So you did the website for the old friends physical therapy stuff?
Yeah, so I did
That's
the
amazing.
website and all the video content, or produced or edited it all.
Edits everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
And Kyle's the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I can be
Multi-talented.
like
Right
I
here.
can just
Look.
kind of show up and be like, all right, let's do it.
yeah.
I mean, it looks great, actually. Old Friends Fitness, oldfriendsfitness.com. Got the whole catalog here. ACL prevention, shin splints, meniscus,
Yeah.
warm up, lower back focus, what we were talking about earlier.
There's a little back, the low back stuff.
Hamstring focus. Ooh, I got tight hamstrings.
Okay,
that's
so
what led to.
that
I think
one's for you.
That's what
Yeah.
led to the Achilles tendon.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I've heard that Achilles.
There's that relationship.
There's a relationship there. Yeah. Warming up 101 fitness programs. Look at this. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, we
Thank
try.
you.
I try to throw everything in there that skaters have asked me about and I think is pertinent to skateboarding.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So if there's any other ideas you guys have, let
I
me
know.
know.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
one.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shoulder.
A lot
Yep.
of people hit me up for wrist too. Wrist.
Oh,
is
yeah,
the
my
biggest
wrist
for
one.
sure.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Shoulder, wrist, and then I get a lot of questions about the toe. Believe it or not, the big toe.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
What are people's just questions about the big toe?
People have big toe pain
Big
and
toe
they can't
issues.
pop, they can't push. So you think about it as just a toe, but I get a lot of questions about that one. So those are a few topics we need to deal with down the line, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
really good stuff on here, just as is.
I mean, I've had big toe issues, I think. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, every time you do anything on a skateboard,
You're
you use
using
your big toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually, if something happens to my big toe, I just have to rest for a few days and then heals back.
Yep.
Right? But how do you work out your big toe, or how do you how do you work out your big toe?
I mean, sometimes after you injure your toe, it gets stiff and
Okay.
weak, and just like any other body part, you got to regain the range of motion. You got to get it strong. You got to get it used to the impact that skateboarding is. So,
yeah.
sometimes it can just be as easy as just chilling for a few days and you get right back to it. But sometimes it can be a process.
Yeah,
Well,
linger.
And also, I want to touch on this too, because like the big toe, when I had my Achilles tendon injury, right, and I went into the physical therapy, and I'm a skateboarder, right. We go through a lot. We're skating for hours and hours a day. We're falling. We're slam. We're machines, right?
Yeah.
And then they are like, okay, we're gonna put these little things on the ground, and you pick them up with your toes. And I'm like, no. In my mind, I'm like, give me something that is going to heal me. Like this little things that you have doing is not the ticket here,
Yeah.
guys. I want to get down and dirty. Looking back in hindsight, going through that was like, that was essential. Those little things led up to my healing, and
Yeah.
every little thing that they tell you to do, if it's just picking up little marbles with your toes, do it. It's essential, And I just, when I first got in there, I was like, this isn't it. I went to the wrong place, man. They got me picking up marbles with my toes. Like, I want to get back on my board.
Yeah.
But I come to learn.
It's a part of the
Essential.
process.
Yeah,
Part
the
of
little
process,
things are
yeah.
important. The picking up the marbles are important. All that stuff is important. But eventually, you do need to get to the meaty stuff where
100%.
where you're pushing the body in a similar way to what is required on a skateboard.
And I
before
got
you-
there.
Yeah.
But this was initial,
Yeah.
right? You go in, you do the little things, and it just builds up to
Like,
it.
what the fuck are these marbles?
What are they? I'm like, yo, take your little marbles, and like, I'm gonna find I'm gonna get a second opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I didn't even know when did you start practicing in the Santa Monica?
2016.
Okay, 2016.
I think that was or it was after your injury.
after.
Yeah.
When did Time to Shine come out?
Before 2016.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Long time ago.
Yeah,
Hey,
look,
I gotta-
this was me. This was me putting little marbles in the
Oh
thing.
my god.
This literally isn't me, but this was what I was doing.
Is this on your OnlyFans, your feet
Yeah,
stuff?
it's on my OnlyFans feet page.
You got me. You got me.
Are there skaters who have OnlyFans?
That's a good question.
I'm sure
I'm
there
sure
are.
there is.
Question.
Because
I don't
you
know.
don't necessarily, a lot of
Pete.
stuff is whatever it doesn't have to be nudity stuff.
No, it could be like foot fetish guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Feety Pete.
There you go.
So what's going on now with you still got the practice over there, but it's not you. It's you work for them, right?
I work
It's not
for the
Have
practice,
you
yeah.
thought about opening up your own practice? Maybe?
I have,
How-
and the thought of that makes me want to pull
No.
my hair out.
Why
So-
is that? Just hard. It costs a lot of
I mean,
money. There's just
All those things.
Okay.
I mean, the admin headaches, dealing with insurance companies. I love seeing patients. I love being doing the physical therapy part of physical therapy. And I've seen a lot of my peers open up their own practice, and it
tough.
will wear you out. Yeah. So I just have no interest in that.
okay. Gotcha.
So
It's kind of like if you started your own skateboard brand, you'd be like, I don't want to do that. I just want to skate.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. so
Exactly. That's a good
You just
parallel.
want to skate right now, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love treating patients. I love interacting with people. I love helping people. So
Yeah.
when you run your own practice, you lose a lot of that.
yeah.
Right.
So if I were to do it, I'd have to have the right partners to do it with, so I can be a part of the business, but still focus on what I enjoy doing.
Right.
Sure.
So
Yeah. It seems fulfilling, It seems like helping people is amazing.
It is. It's fun.
I feel like some people come in there and they don't know, you work on them, just normal people I'm talking about. And then they kind of go away, right? You don't see them again. You don't see their success, right? But skaters, you kind of get to keep up with them on their Instagram and see their progression.
Exactly.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And that nothing gives me more joy than seeing a skater go from injured and wondering if they're ever going to skate again to back skating. So it's really gratifying.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Or anxiety, I bet, if they're skating before they should.
Oh,
Like with the ACL stuff.
There's another version of that
You're like,
where
"Hey,
I
buddy."
get nervous when
do you hit him up? Be like,
it's like,
dude,
Fred, I
what
told
do
you not to get back on your board yet.
You did that with me. I was like, I got to do a tray flip. You're like, whoa, settle down, dude. Settle down.
And people have to realize. Listen, we want to get back on our board, but like skating's not going anywhere.
That's true. Yep.
It's not going anywhere. And
Yeah.
like, you heal up first before you get in there. And like one wrong move can set you back months.
Chris, those are great words of wisdom. I hope skaters listen to you.
Thank you.
'Cause
It's true, though.
They don't always listen to me, but skaters are skaters, So
Look what happened to Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
like
Say
you
prime
want to skate
prime
too bad.
example.
Like,
Yep.
hey, we understand that process, right? But
Yeah.
like,
We get it. Nobody's
Yeah.
like shaming you for that,
Not at
but
all.
it's like, man, just wait. Just
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not going anywhere. Like you just set yourself back.
Yeah.
Like months and all the hard work. It
Yeah.
was like for nothing.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, so I do my best to just lay out like, all right, you need to pass these tests, you need to be able to do these things before you can get back on the board. But ultimately, it's skaters will be skaters sometimes. But skaters have become. Every skater is different, but I feel like skaters have become more responsible about coming back from injuries. More properly.
For sure.
So,
For
which
sure.
makes my job a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And with the skaters, what are they coming in with most? Ankles?
Ankles, knees.
Knees?
Yep. Yeah.
Is this like post surgeries and stuff, or pre and post surgeries?
Well, post-surgical,
Okay.
but also just, a sprained ankle, a badly sprained ankle, or a twisted knee or something like that.
Right.
I think the most common injury I see in the clinic is the one, I think you had this one, Kelly, where you tear the ligaments and break the bone, that ankle injury where you have to get a surgery, you get the pin placements in. I would say that's the most common injury.
Seriously?
Yeah. because it's bad enough where you have to go to PT consistently to get back on the board. Where if you twist your knee, a patient will come in and see me once. I'll get them on a good home program, and then they're back in a couple months. But those traumatic ankle injuries, I see quite a bit.
And then those pins can do damage later on, or not damage, but inhibit your movement later on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can still feel mine.
Kenny, did you keep the pins in?
I kept them in because honestly, I'm fine with them right now. But I do not. I know my brother-in-law is an orthopedic surgeon. He's like, "Oh, it's easy in and out." I'm like, "Yeah, for you because you do it every single day. You're doing that. I don't want to go to get surgery."
But what's the recovery time on that?
I don't know if it's that long.
It's short. It's short. It's way shorter than the original surgery. But surgery's a procedure is a procedure. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Who we were talking to somebody who had the same thing and they got their pins taken out.
John Delo.
Oh, John Delo.
Yeah, because when you keep the pins in, can you picture kind of that shin over toe movement that you need to pop? And, land tricks, stuff like that. The screws inhibit that motion. So if you're a skater, you're not going to be able to, bend over and do your, load up to do your tray flip as easy as when you don't have the pins in. So some skaters can kind of adapt and figure it out, but sometimes you got to take the pins out.
Probably works. It probably depends if it's on your front ankle or your back ankle as well.
Absolutely.
I still have that pinch sometimes, and sometimes it's totally fine. It's just like I don't know. I guess I have no idea why. What inflames
depends on the day. Depends on the trick.
Yeah, the weather kind of.
Sometimes,
yeah. But maybe I'll do it. But at the moment, I'm chilling.
Yeah. Well, let's get your hip in shape first.
That's the initial thing.
So we can go skate a little bit.
Yeah. My muscles are so tight, and to my CEO, you're like, dude, you're insane, dude. Like,
your hips are pretty stiff. I remember that.
I was like, man, I can't do this, but I don't know. There's some homework I gotta do. I got some homework I gotta.
Let's get it going.
Yeah.
I think what's been interesting that I've learned through the podcast, like speaking of surgeries, is even in like the 10 years or 11 years since I had, let's say, meniscus surgery, how it's moved away. A lot of the treatment has moved away from like surgery right away. And that's been like super interesting to learn.
What do you expand on that? What do you mean?
Meaning like some of the stuff should be treated with physical therapy long before you're just like
jumping into
surgery.
Oh, yeah.
And we're talking about specifically meniscus stuff. Is that what you said?
Yeah, but I feel like there's been other stuff, like some of the back things. There's just been a shift in some of the research. Right?
Yes, with some injuries, they are slower to rush into surgery than they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. And Walker was that case. Like if you had that injury,
which injury
today,
like a meniscus tear.
if he had the same injury today that he did 10, 15 years ago, they'd probably prescribe him, go to PT for 3 to 6 months, see how good you can get it. You can always get the surgery, but you might avoid surgery if you take these steps. Yeah.
And then, so if a walker comes into you for PT, how much information do you get from? Do you have X-rays? Do you have MRI stuff? I mean, do you get to look at all that stuff beforehand?
Sometimes, but not always.
Not always.
Yeah.
Does that make it difficult if you don't have that kind of information?
Sometimes, but like if he had a surgery and he came in to see me after surgery for his consultation, I would like to get the operation report to see exactly what they did, when they did it, so on and so forth. But if he came into me, like if you came to me with Achilles tendonitis,
well, that's different than meniscus tear.
Exactly.
Right?
So it depends on the injury.
Because like I would think that he would have already had an MRI, right? If it was a meniscus thing. Would that be on him or his doctors to send it to you?
Both.
Interesting.
Both. Yeah. So it depends on the injury.
Okay. There's a lot of layers to it, man.
There is.
And I kind of want to I want to unpack it.
Well, let's do it. We're doing it.
Thank you.
We're doing it.
So the doctors, like, do you work with certain doctors of like, hey, I refer you to this guy, or I don't know?
Yeah, we have kind of a referral network of doctors on the west side or all over LA that refer patients to us.
Okay.
So we work closely with a lot of doctors who see low back pain patients or do foot surgery or knee surgery. So we have kind of a network of doctors that we work with. But also, these days people will come see us without seeing a doctor, a medical doctor or a surgeon first.
Right.
So there's that part of it too.
And then you kind of got to unpack whatever they have and try to figure out what's ailing them without the evidence, kind of, so to speak. Right?
Yeah. Well, sometimes like if sometimes I need to send, if somebody comes in off the street and I think they might have a fracture, like a bone injury, I'll send them to go see, a surgeon or a medical doctor, and say, hey, like, go get this checked out before, and then come back and see me. So we do have situations like that.
Do you ever get referred a patient and they come in and they're like, they start talking about skating and you're like, oh, I skate. This is what I see. Like,
sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
It happens? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about for all the skaters out there that don't live in Los Angeles area? Is there anyone out there PT wise that you recommend in like different zones, maybe that you might know?
Let's do state by state. Who do we?
There's not a lot of them, I'm assuming.
There's
but
not
maybe,
a lot. That's it's kind of a lonely existence. There's a couple physios in Europe that see skaters. There's an athletic trainer, Dan, who works out of Australia and sees skaters.
Okay.
But there's not that many.
Oh, okay.
So I'm hoping 10 years from now
There'll be more.
There'll be a lot more.
Right.
But Jessica, but she kind of has her small group of high-end athletes that she trains. So there's not a lot of people who are.
And she's kind of a trainer / physical therapist. Like
she's an athletic trainer.
She's not
a really good one.
And
But
she's not available for everybody though.
She's
right?
not.
Right.
She has her athletes that she works with.
Right.
So there's not a ton of people.
Yeah.
Dr. Dave
doing what I
too.
do.
Dr. Dave, he's a guy that works in this.
Yeah, he's a chiropractor that works
with skateboards.
Yeah,
he helped me
Orange County or San Diego.
when I broke my ankle off.
Far. Yeah.
Well, I used to live in Orange County, so like that was
easier for you.
perfect for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, he helped me come back from that second ankle injury. But
Yeah, so there's not a ton, but I am hoping that is changing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I mean, go ahead. Sorry. Go
Well,
ahead.
one of the problems for seeing even someone out of state is like sometimes the insurance won't be accepted, right?
Yeah, so I thought about
could be, like,
doing
big issues.
I thought about doing like an online business where I do like FaceTime
just about to say that,
consultations.
yeah.
But there are laws about
Okay.
doing interstate. So I'm still working on that. I'm still trying to get the logistics down. That still might be in the down, something that happens down the pipeline.
It's like going to another country to work without a work visa.
Kind of, but even within from California to Arizona.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Though
State to
it's
state.
like the
Same
border.
type
That
thing.
border is separating you from.
Yeah. So I
doing
mean, that would be.
that would be awesome.
I think that'd be really
Yeah.
helpful for a lot of skaters who
Big time.
can't come to LA.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there are barriers to that.
What are some of these barriers? Just because they want to keep it in this state network or whatever it is. I mean,
Yeah, and different states have different laws about how healthcare, should
provided.
or shouldn't be run. So
Interesting.
But if it doesn't go through health insurance, you can do that, right?
that's what I'm working on figuring out.
Right.
What's your Venmo?
What's that?
What's your Venmo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Zelle, Venmo,
That's getting
PayPal.
coded.
I know.
KB Brown, hit me up. Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, I don't want it to just be me. I want there to be other PTs, other doctors
like
that
a network.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I'm hoping that happens soon.
That'd
Nice.
be amazing.
Have you thought about
Yeah.
working for any type of like brand of like how Red Bull has like their group of trainers or something like that, or like
Yeah.
Team USA or
I've thought about it,
Yeah.
but I mean, I want to be as accessible as I can to as many skaters
yeah.
as I can. So I feel like if I'm at a Red Bull or at a Nike or at one of those companies, 20 skaters have access to me instead of
Right.
yeah,
more skaters than that.
yeah, and if people in general. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
He's here.
But
To,
I've thought about it.
he's here to help people. Man.
Yeah.
He wants to
Seriously.
help.
Yeah.
Wants to
Seriously.
spread this.
Yeah.
And I feel like, at least with me, sometimes it seems like you're more interested in really like helping someone come back from injury and treating that than like sort of the general training, which I feel like that
Oh,
those
yeah.
kind of jobs would fall into a little bit more.
as opposed to like the sports performance side of things.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like that's what I've
You're right.
taken.
Yeah.
I've gleaned that. Yeah.
You guys know each other pretty well.
Yeah,
I
we're
feel
good friends.
See how this worked out?
You guys are old friends.
They're old friends. They're old friends. They're old friends.
Yeah.
No, I feel like, man, I feel like this is just a tip of the iceberg for old friends and kind of what you guys can
I hope so.
really,
Yeah,
I hope
really
so.
put out there and
Yeah.
put together, you know, because I think it's hard, first of all, to market something like this, right?
Yeah.
Like, how many times can you shout to the mountains, like, hey, we're here, we have this thing, you
Yeah.
know, and to get people to like, because this is the honest truth, is like, everybody talks about preventative, do this, exercise, but I am the guy that I get hurt, I go get help, and
I
when
know.
I'm done with that, I'm out.
Out of your mind.
I'm
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
So,
You're human. You're human. That's what
you.
a lot of people do. It's not
Yeah.
just
right, but
yeah.
but I can see that being a frustrating thing though, is because it's like you're here to do this, you were screaming, hey, we're here, like this is go check us out, but then you're only getting the people who are hurt at that moment,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and you're not getting those people who are like, yes, I want to take care of myself. Maybe you are, but not in
Yeah.
droves, right?
Right, totally. Yeah, and I would what I envision is like everything that Kyle's doing, and then add on someone who's a little bit more like the personal trainer type of programs that you can do on the
Ooh,
daily
yeah.
for preventative, which Kyle's designed a few of those and they're great. But I feel like that would be a nice complement to it, to someone who's a little bit more dedicated to
Ooh,
that.
you get
know?
a nice little package deal.
Yeah, get
'cause-
like a Neen Williams type
Yeah, get
person,
Neen
who-
on.
just like a
So-
true fitness person.
Yeah, who really
Right.
has like expertise in like this specific strength building category or subject.
It's
you know, like
it's
that's
strength, it's diet,
Yeah.
it's
All of
so
it, yeah.
it's all
It's,
of the above.
as Huberman would say, it's sleep. You know, all
Sleep.
that type of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's what I would really like to see it expand with.
Like
that
a-
would that would be
yeah.
part of the how I envision the growth. Being.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys should have
Get a yoga person on. Get a
There you go.
Pilates
Right,
person
right.
on.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
You should get Huberman.
Brandon Terminator.
You should get Huberman on your guys' podcast.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dude.
Huberman, you want to come on our podcast?
The one thing I've really loved about Huberman is just his love for skateboarders and
Yes.
skateboarding.
It's
Yeah.
pretty remarkable. That guy's
Yeah.
got a lot of skate knowledge from
Straight
that
up.
period of time.
Yeah, and he just understands how skateboarders think. He said
Totally.
there was some Instagram that he put on one of his reels or whatever recently. We talks to Rick Rubin, and he explains to Rick Rubin what skateboarding is like, and he explains it so perfect in
Yeah.
like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
And most people cannot explain it in 45
Yeah,
seconds.
no one's ever done that.
But like it's like, but someone to explain to someone as brilliant as Rick Rubin
Yeah,
to be, oh yeah, it's about style.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about just like, hey, you do this, you're the best in the world.
yeah,
It's like you make a basket, you win the game. It's like, no, it's
Yeah.
a whole different dynamic. So
he's a smart guy.
He is.
Yeah.
He's really good at
Smart
like
guy.
articulating in a very simple to understand way
Definitely.
very complicated things.
And I
That's
think-
why
Yes.
he's as good as he is.
That's what makes him popular.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
it's like there are those people that come through and they talk in a way that, and the in layman's terms, like a person can understand. Is the science guy, the space guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson, like
yeah.
Right.
kind of the same vibe, right? He could speak and you can understand. He doesn't
Yeah.
go into like some weird area where you're like, I'm not following you at all, my man.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have no idea what you're talking about.
That's a big skill though to be able to do
Huge.
that.
Yeah.
So,
Huge.
He's perfected
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
I especially like when he goes into sort of the psyche, anger psyche stuff with skating, and like, you know, no one's really explored that from a psychologist's perspective, at least for us.
Yeah.
And I'm always curious about, because that's like
Like,
something
why
we
am
all
I
deal
f-
with it. Like,
Yeah.
why do we go completely nuts?
Yeah.
for like this specific time, we go out of our minds.
Yeah.
When we are normal people, we don't do that at all.
Yeah.
But for some reason,
I know.
yeah, it's like the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
Try the same thing in
over and over
over and over,
over.
get the same
Yeah.
result. It drives you nuts.
You get
Yeah.
that breaking point, yeah.
Yeah.
So he breaks that down.
I mean, he like offers methods to like quiet it, which
The breathing technique.
I never have time for.
Dude, if we had that back in the day, you still skating a lot, but man, if I had that, instead of being like, defibrillator right here, I'm never going pro. Like, and you're just like, dude, this like you said it earlier, or on off air.
Yeah.
If someone hearing that out of nowhere,
Yeah.
just hearing some guy screaming,
It's normal down here in Venice.
I guess it is.
That's our neighbor.
But skateboarding brings the wildness out of people for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude! But it's such a beautiful thing, though.
Oh, it
You
is.
know, because like we can all relate to each other on that. Back I used to focus boards. We used to throw boards. It kind of was a thing back then. I mean, Kerry Getz really extended that.
Oh, yeah.
you know, of, like
Oh,
that
yeah.
anger and breaking boards.
He was famous for that, for sure.
right.
Yeah.
But you know,
did it.
you see somebody. You know, you slowly get out of that phase because you see somebody else doing it. You're like, oh god, is that what I look like?
Yeah.
But you still understand that pain and that frustration, what that person's going through. You can relate to them 1,000%. You know, and even though somebody doesn't react that way, you're still like in the know.
Yeah, totally.
It's pretty funny though. If you go out, you don't ever see anyone else acting like that ever.
Yeah.
The
Although
only
I did just see someone tweeted a video of this guy, a tennis player, focusing his racket and then like walking over and focusing all of his rackets. Like
Nice.
it wasn't just the one after the game. It was like he needed to pick the
amazing.
whole basket and just keep
Oh, was it the
going.
Australian dude?
Maybe. I don't know who it was, but it was just it's an amazing clip because it like the commentator.
I think it was, and I
Yeah.
forget
Because
his
he
name.
gets pissed, and
Yeah.
like he was the same thing a skater would do.
Yeah.
He served it, and someone was talking. He's like, "Shut up!" It's like, I'm like, dude, that's such a skater thing right
I
there.
know. Yeah.
But I'm picturing like a marathon runner who like doesn't get the time that he wants and just throwing a tantrum. Like you're right, like that in other sports that just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. Which is like it's like we normalize it because it's normal to us, but like it's not normal, or it shouldn't. I don't think it should be. You know, like that's one of the things I just like loathe about myself, like that hitting that breaking point and like losing my temper. Like I want to contain that as much as possible,
sure.
but it's hard. And when you're 18 and start going on trips with people who are like way worse than you, you're kind of like, oh, all right, I guess it's
You got to
permitted.
unleash the beast sometimes, man.
And you have
Yeah, I
to
was gonna say it.
it doesn't.
If you do it in a control way, can it be helpful? Like, if,
I mean,
because
sometimes
I'm not a,
yeah.
I don't jump down shit like you do. But like, has that ever been helpful? Where you just like let out a little bit of frustration, but then you're like, all right, I feel good now. Like, or does that not?
I mean, I want to say, yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like there's moments when it's like you finally yell like you've been holding in, and then you land it. You're like,
Right.
Yeah.
maybe I just needed that.
The only person I've seen keep the calmest I've ever seen is Tom Asta. Dude, he'll try and trick for only time if he tries to trick for like 4 hours, then you might seem like, ooh.
Right.
But he is like, he'll jump down Love Park Gap and be like, oh, I'm just gonna do it right here.
Yeah,
Right.
I know. I feel like we've
Very
talked
mellow.
about it before. That like, of all the skaters we've seen, Tom is like the only one who just doesn't get mad, and that's almost like weirder.
Yeah.
Than all the skaters who get mad. It's like, dude, what's wrong with him? You know?
And he's doing like the hardest tricks.
Yeah.
You're like, you're
Yeah.
trying the hardest thing. You're not getting mad.
Yeah.
But he also lands things relatively
Pretty
quick.
fast,
So that's
yeah.
probably why.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I watch a lot of golf, and pro golfers are just so even keeled that sometimes during some situations, I'm like, dude, just show a little bit of emotion. Like there must be like a certain level or like a productive amount of emotion that you can show that can actually be helpful. I don't know that, but I've always wondered that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, you rarely see any other sportsman like stress out like that.
Right.
John McEnroe was probably pretty good at it.
Oh, there
He
you
definitely
go.
would be
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
break the racket, just like however this this Australian guy did. But
Yeah, Tiger Woods would let out some emotion
for
every
sure,
once in a while.
for
Yeah.
sure. There's a couple guys in golf that'll definitely let you know, like either
Yeah.
you're being too loud, like dude, shut the fuck,
Yeah.
But it's very rare.
One of the funniest ones I've seen is like in poker. Like that dude Phil Hellmuth. I don't know if you guys know who
yeah,
he
I
is.
know Phil.
Dude, he goes in on something annoys him. He's just all. It is wild. But like it's just one of those things when you love something, you're so passionate.
Totally.
that It just.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
It's gonna
man.
bleed over. You know?
And I feel like skating is unique in that it's scary. So you're scaring yourself, and when you don't do it, you're actually or you almost get hurt. Like that's what I sometimes makes me the most mad is like I didn't land it right there. I hesitated, and now I like almost fucked my ankle, and I'm so mad at myself for like risking that.
And now I got to do it again.
Yeah, now I got to go up and do it again. It's just like there's that like fear element mixed in that just like I don't know, for me. And like again, like I hate to make it an excuse, but that's sort of an explanation in my head, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of emotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all combined into one
Yeah.
just beehive, and you hit that beehive, and all the bees go crazy.
Yeah, it's like your self-worth. You're
Oh
like,
my God.
you're not doing it, so you're just like, you go from being on top of the world, like, I'm gonna fucking land this right now. This is gonna be the best feeling day ever. I'm the coolest, and then you're just like 2 hours later, you're like, why do I even live? Why do I even exist? What is the point?
So true.
Drastic,
Yeah.
so drastic.
So
Yeah.
true. Either it's a is that my whole life has been based around that concept right there.
Yeah.
Highs and lows.
I think in the future, team managers should be like therapists.
There you go.
I've said
Full
that
on like
plenty of times.
psychologists, and most of them are to a
But then
certain extent, but like
sometimes-
trained.
Yeah, but then you need to get a therapist for the team. For
Oh,
the
totally.
Team
Yeah,
manager.
he needs
Yeah.
he's
So,
a
yeah.
depression. Yeah.
Straight up.
It's a
vicious
whole-
cycle.
Yeah, it's a
Or like
vicious
we were saying, the
cycle.
filmers especially, because they're actually dealing with it more intimately. You know, like
They're
For
the,
sure.
They're the therapists for
Yeah.
that skater.
Yeah.
totally. Yeah.
And they have to learn how to deal with that person's like psychotic
Madness.
madness.
yeah.
Every skater has it, dude.
Yeah.
And
Because you can, as a filmer, you can trigger that skater so much worse by doing like the tiniest behavior that you don't like. Like, I feel like there's some, like, if a skater's telling me too many times, like, oh, you got it. It's like, I don't got it,
Yeah.
dude. Like, it hasn't happened. Like, stop telling me I got it. Like, it's just, they're just auto, and, you know, like an auto loop of just saying what they think they should say.
Guess you don't
like,
got it then.
Yeah. So there's just like those like finite things you have to, or just know how to like hype them up. Like, that's the thing about, like, now that I've been skating long enough in this industry, I've worked with like so many filmers, and it's so incredible to see guys like Ewan Bowman and John Holland who like have worked with people every range of personality for like 25, 30 years, and like they still are excited to watch a trick happen. Like, that is a special person, because
doubt.
dude, it's like, I mean, you can get jaded so fast. Like, how many filmers have we all seen come and go who are like, oh yeah, they're like the hype man, and then they're just like, I need the office job, get me out of the
Yeah,
session.
yeah.
You know, like,
For sure.
it's props to those guys, because
Yeah.
like, I don't think
It
I
does
have-
take a special personality.
yeah, like, you have to be so excited, and that has to transfer in the right way. Like,
Kyle
It's hard.
Camarillo's a good one too. I mean,
Yeah.
he hasn't been around as long as those dudes, but he's like a newer age dude
yeah,
he's fun to work with.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's incredible. I assume Ty's like that, just that sort of like energy, like,
He doesn't give up.
yeah,
Yeah.
Totally.
No, he'll make sure you get what you're trying to do.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Or do
Look at this,
anything.
Look at this angle, like, just to get you like sparked. Like, damn, that angle does look dope.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go
Right.
do it right now.
Have you
So
guys
true.
seen skaters like get a ton of clips with certain filmers or photographers, but then you see them work with other filmers and photographers, and then
I think
they all of a
so,
sudden
yeah.
can't skate? Like,
Right.
you guys ever see that happen?
I think so, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think there's
Yeah.
been filmers and photographers that I've gone out with and never gotten anything with.
Right.
yeah, there's probably like that,
For
like
sure.
that
Yeah.
curse with that one
You're
person.
like, oh no,
I can't think of that because I always
try
get
not to
my
think,
clips.
yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I try not
happened
to
to me.
think like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
when I'm filming.
yeah, no.
No, anyone. Yeah. Well, we always talk about, or I guess it's not the same thing. When David Gravett.
Oh, the Malto thing?
Malto
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah, that's a perfect
Yeah,
example.
it's
Yeah,
like it's not filmer, skater, filmer, but it's still like, you're not. I'm not working with you.
yeah.
It's just,
We're friends, we're homies, but
Like,
you're not.
like when they skate together, nothing happens, or what's
When-
that story?
When David Gravett was, he tried a trick, and Malto was there. When they started filming the Transville video they were in, he got smoked. And since for some reason, he thought Malto was there, that he was the reason why he fell.
Yeah.
So they'd go on trips, and he would start skating, but he would wait for Malto to leave to start trying the trick.
Or he'd go somewhere, he'd take
Yeah.
a filmer somewhere else to go film some stuff, and it just became this like thing.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
pretty funny, though.
It's pretty impressive. You actually got a part done like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you go on skate trips with that person?
Yeah.
Avoiding like essentially your
And
teammate.
didn't
for
Jeron
the
like
video?
not know, like at first, or for a while he didn't even like know
he
about
had
it?
no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
He found out after, right? Like,
So, yeah, it
That's
was funny
so
because like
insane.
Sean came on our show, he talked about it, and then Gravett came on our show, and then we asked him about it, and Gravett was talking about it, and then recently Malto and Mike Mo were on, we talked about it again. So it's just fun. To us, it's just hilarious
Yeah.
bringing it up because it's never really heard of anything like that before.
No.
But Gravett's such a funny dude
Oh,
that
yeah.
like it makes sense.
Yeah.
that Gravett would do that.
Yeah.
You know, like
well, it's funny because he's not being an asshole to Sean. Like, it's not
100%.
he's-
Like he
right.
loves Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they like That's what's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Got to give Gervette back on the show, dude.
Oh,
Gervette's
yeah.
the
Too fucking
best,
good, bro.
dude.
Yeah, he's a good storyteller.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for coming on the show, man.
Thanks for having us.
Old friends. We got oldfriendsfitness.com and oldfriendsandco.com.
Yeah.
Okay, those are
Yeah.
the two websites.
You can
Old
just go to
Friends
Old
Co.
Friends and Co.
And
Old
Co.
Friends and Co. And then that'll link to wherever you need
You got
to go.
that's
Yeah.
the main hub.
Yeah.
Old
Yeah,
Friends
yeah,
and
yeah.
Code. And then website, YouTube channel. Go
Yep.
to everything's on there.
Yeah, we've linked some stuff on
Instagrams,
there.
all
Yep.
that stuff. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So that go to the oldfriendsandco.com. Go check them out.
Yes,
And if you're in the Los Angeles area, Dr. Kyle Brown, look him
Yep,
up.
KB.
You're
Yeah.
a skater, you need some help.
I'm at Sports Fit Physical Therapy, Santa Monica. Stop on by.
Sports Fit Physical Therapy.
Yeah, Sports
Okay.
Fit PT.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's a great place. I've been there. I personally
This is it
I
right here.
suggest
Boom.
it.
Kelly
Thanks,
vouches.
Kelly.
Yeah.
There we
Thanks.
go. One Wilshire Boulevard. Oh, they got one in Marina Del Rey.
Yeah,
too.
we got a few
we
different
got a couple of
locations,
them.
so,
Do
yeah.
you just service the one in Santa Monica?
I just work at Santa Monica.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there we
Yeah.
go.
Oh, wow.
Also-
I didn't even know they did this article. Oh.
and you might see Kyle at the courthouse too.
Yeah.
I skate at the courthouse.
Yeah.
I live right next to Stoner, but I skate at the courthouse.
Yeah.
So you will not
Have
catch him.
you-
You will not catch him at Stoner.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I'm only at the courthouse.
You recovered from that waxy slam? You're back?
I have, yeah. I've got my confidence back at the courthouse.
Would you slip out on top of the wax?
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn you,
gosh.
Carlos.
The worst.
The ice ledges will get you.
Yeah, they will. Dude, Dr. Kyle Brown.
Hey,
dude,
thank you. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Thanks so
Hey,
much.
Appreciate
Walker
it.
Ryan,
That was
thank you
awesome.
so
Love you
much.
guys.
Thank you
Yep.
guys.
Hell
And
yeah.
doors always open. Come back anytime, guys.
All right.
We'll be here.
Appreciate you.
Get ready for a knock.
And get ready for the next book.
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yes. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing.